Says it's time to go live. Hi, friends. We'll see if anybody has the opportunity to pop in today, spend a little time with me. It's the middle of the day. This is kind of unannounced. I decided to do it last minute. And for some reason, I brought my iPad with me so I can see what's going on and read the comments. But for some reason, it's not working yet on my iPad. So let me try it again. Oh, there it is. There I am. Oh, I need to get my hair done, don't I? I'm going to be getting my hair done soon. I need to decide what I want to do next. I'm not going to go with the pink this next time because I'm going to be taking a trip in a few weeks, and I'm going to be going out to California for my grandson's graduation. So I will be waiting till I get a little bit closer to the time for that trip before I go and get my hair did. And I'm going to do it at the beauty college. I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to put my hair in the hands of the youngins. And I'm going to come up with something for my trip that's nice and respectable for a grandma going to her grandson's high school graduation. No more pink stuff. So I actually had someone comment the other day about my pink hair didn't suit me. Hi, Nicole. Hi. I love my pink hair. And I get that it's me. I love it. It doesn't look like it now. It doesn't look that great now. But I had somebody say, you're far too intelligent to be running around with pink hair. I said, it's fun. I like it. I spent so long being bald when I was going through chemotherapy. I wanted to do something fun. And I've had several fun hairstyles ever since then. But I've been doing the pink hair for a couple of years now. This one ended up being a little bit dark. Hey, Mare. Thank you. Thank you. So I just decided next time I go to the hair salon, I'm going to be doing something a little different. So you'll have to stay tuned and see what I decide to do with my hair next. But look at, I got this Eddie Munster thing going on. I love the pink hair too. And here's the thing, and I'll have to say it as nicely as I can. I'm going to go on that trip to California. And I want to make sure that I represent my grandson well. And I don't know that he wants to be the one with the grandma with the pink hair in the stands. And two is I'm going back into a different culture than what I'm living here. So, living here on the farm with the chickens, and it's kind of different having the pink hair anyways, but I'm going into a different atmosphere going into California. And I don't want to stick out like that in California. No offense to any of my Californian friends and family. I think I need to tone it down a little bit and blend in a little more when I go to California. I'll still wear, the really cool glasses, but we'll see. I'm going to come up with something that I know it's one of my husband's favorites. He loves my hair done a certain way. And I think I'll just kind of surprise him one day and have him come home and, boy, look at you did your hair the way that he's always liked. So I think I'm going to do that. So, I've got to wait though, because it's all coming in gray and I don't want it to be gray right before I go. So, but like I said, I've got this widow's peak here. It's getting really, I need a haircut. It's really in bad shape. I colored my hair in February and I did my usual pink, even though it doesn't look like it. And I put the dye in my hair and I was on the phone with my niece in California because Papa Jim's mama was really, really sick. Very sick, everybody needed to go see her sick, and she's still with us, but it was really touch and go there for a while. So I had colored my hair. I'd put the dye in my hair and I was on the phone with my niece, and I was only supposed to leave the color in for 20 minutes. And I got caught up in trying to get information, get airline tickets together for the bereavement costs to try to save a little bit of money, and get all the information I needed to give to the airlines. And before I knew it, an hour had gone by. So I left that hair dye in my hair for an hour. And I didn't realize the time had gone that quickly. So by the time I rinsed it out, even though it didn't have bleach, there's no peroxide in the pink. Cha-ching! Did you hear the cha-ching? I just sold another one of the patterns for my egg apron. Yay, I love that. I'm so close to hitting a milestone on those. You don't even know. I won't share it until I hit the milestone, but I'm so close. Anyways, I will share with you that by my birthday, which is today, I wanted to reach 100 sales for my patterns. And I did that like 3 weeks ago. I'm now at 172. So I'm close to 200. Woohoo! I know. 200. Woohoo! I love it. Every time it's like Pavlov's dog. You know, you hear the bell and you're like, I'm so happy when I hear the cha-ching go off on my phone, because that means somebody else thinks that my pattern is pretty awesome. So I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on the pattern. Funny thing though, and I totally forget what I was talking about. Oh, my hair. Now it doesn't hold a curl, even though there's no peroxide. It just, I put it up in my curlers that I love so much, and then I take it out and it's like within just a couple of minutes. So I'm pretty sure, even though there was no peroxide, I fried it. Thank you, Nicole. So I'm gonna be taking some length off. I'm going to actually be doing a style that my husband loves very much, and my hair will be 2 colors, but they won't be crazy California colors or crazy chicken mama colors. There'll be something a little bit more toned down, but it's a cut and color that Papa Jim really does like. So I'm going to be doing that. So, and what other thing, guys, what was I just talking about? Somebody had posted, hi, is it Michi stopping by to say hello, happy birthday? Thank you. I need to put the glasses on, don't I? And I still can't see. This is why I brought this. Hello, thank you so much. I was just sharing that my Etsy store just went cha-ching, which means I sold another crochet pattern, and I was so happy about it. And it's funny because one of my patterns, somebody shared in a thread on a crochet page on Facebook. Somebody was looking for an egg apron pattern. Hello, Vintage Huntress. Hello. Hey, that name's familiar. Vintage Huntress. Just now talking about my crochet pattern for the egg apron with the little hens on it. And there was a crochet thread on a page, and somebody says, hey, does anybody have any patterns? And somebody said, I'm going to make this pattern. And they put a picture of my pattern that somebody else had completed. It wasn't my work. Somebody bought the pattern and they had shared a picture. And that person screenshotted it and they said, I'm going to make this. And they said, it's really easy. You just do this, this, and this. And I was like, it's not how it's done. It's not done like that. But I didn't want to correct. It's so hard to be diplomatic. And it's so hard when somebody tries to simplify a pattern that you spent 12 months working on. But they said, oh, it's this, this, and this. And I'm like, no, it's not. It is you. Hello, glad to see you. Doing good. Oh, hang on. See, now it gets blurry. Thank you for happy birthday. I appreciate it. Steph. Oh, Steph. Now I know. Now I can put 2 and 2 together. Glad to see you're doing good. Going to have to take you out to eat this time for your birthday. You know, funny thing, I did go out to lunch it's been probably 2 or 3 weeks with Steph. We had a great lunch. We spent, I think, 2 hours at the restaurant. And then I stole the restaurant's toothpicks. And I was like, which I failed to mention to my doctor yesterday. This is like an ADD kind of a chat, I think, today, because I'm all over the board. But we had gone out to lunch. And when I got in the car, I thought, oh, man, I should have pulled the old trickaroo that I always like to do. I like to do this every once in a while. And Steph and I, we're related through marriage. Our children are married to each other. But we haven't had the chance to actually bond and hang out. And we ran into each other at the store and I said, let's go to lunch. We had a great lunch. I was so happy that we got to have lunch together. And as we hugged goodbye and I got in the car, I had something in my hand. Now, you guys remember, I fell a couple weeks before that and had a concussion. And I was still feeling not quite right. So I get into the car and I've got my hand wrapped around something. And it's like, whose pills do I have? I'm holding a pill bottle. What's going on? And I was still actively getting into the car, so I didn't stop and look. But it's like, why am I holding a prescription bottle of pills? Well, once I got in my seat and got settled, I looked at it, and it wasn't a prescription bottle of pills. It was the toothpicks from the counter in the restaurant. It's like I signed for the bill and then just like picked up their toothpicks and walked out with their toothpicks. So I just was really embarrassed about that. But then before I went in, I thought, oh man, I should have done this with Steph. I should have told the restaurant before she got there that it was her birthday, and they'd bring out the sombrero and they'd sing her happy birthday, and we would have gotten a free ice cream instead of having to pay for it. And I thought, I don't know if she knows me that well enough yet. I'm kind of glad I didn't do it. And then I didn't know the next day was her birthday. I could have gotten away with it. So happy birthday to Steph as well. That would have been fun. I should have done it. I should have. And then you would have been like, how'd you know? But I didn't know till the next day that it was her birthday. But I took the toothpicks back, totally embarrassed. And of course, there's a language barrier. But I actually went back to lunch there with Papa Jim, I think on Saturday or Sunday or something. And as we walked away, I picked up the toothpicks. He's like, He knew I was going to steal his toothpicks. But I didn't tell my doctor because I wanted to let my doctor know I'm doing weird things like stealing toothpicks and not putting the truck in park and just watching it roll away and then think I can catch it. The day that Steph and I met up, before that, I lost my keys twice in the same store. I mean, I just wasn't doing well. Let me see what you guys are saying about me. I hope you're laughing. You didn't notice. I did get away with sneaking the ticket because before Steph got there, I told them, I said, you give me the ticket. Don't give her the ticket. It's my treat. And they did. They listened really well. So I was glad to treat you to lunch. I really enjoyed that. So for today, I did just go to the doctor yesterday, like I mentioned. And they had called me and said, do you want to come in for a physical? And I really don't want to go to the doctor. I did not want to go. But I'd been having these experiences of just doing loopy things and kind of been having heart palpitations. And I'm out of breath a lot. And yes, I've put a lot of my weight back on since I took some off because of the diabetes. And I was like, gosh darn it. All right, I'll come up for an appointment. And of course, they made the appointment the day before my birthday, so I couldn't get anything free in the big city when I went to the big city. Hello, Rochelle. Yeah, who wants a physical? Let's get physical. Anyways, my doctor comes in and I put my hand out right away. He's like, what? I said, just slap it, spank it, roll it around a little. He's like, what? And I said, I've been bad. I've been so bad. He goes, oh, I'm not going to spank you. I was like, really? I tried to get a spanking out of it. But I told him, I said, I haven't been on my medication. I haven't been watching my sugars. I know I'm not as bad as I was before. We went through the whole thing. He was so good. He says, you know what? Let's just do this and let's change that. And so kind. I really thought I was going to get a really big talking to, but he was really good. And then he says, and then it's almost like he was fishing, and I'm that fish going, la, 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 oh, look, a worm. And I bit the hook. And then he set the hook, right? He set it. He goes, dang it. He goes, you're not getting out of here before I schedule you a colonoscopy. I don't want a colonoscopy. He goes, I don't care. With your history, you need one. It's like, really? Can I not? And he's, no. Game, set, match to the doctor. He got me right there. That was my punishment for not being a good patient. So I said, can I please schedule it for after my trip? Please. Because it would be my luck they'd schedule it for the day I'm supposed to get on a plane. No. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, if you guys tuned in a couple years ago when I made my birthday cake and it was an absolute disaster, but hysterical, go back and watch that if you didn't get to see it. I won't be doing the same kind of cake today. Last time I made a cake out of an old cookbook. The cookbook's probably 40 years old. And then I attempted to make my own frosting. And it was so bad that the cake was falling apart. I was just kind of like slapping chunks of frosting on the side. My best friend was like falling on the ground. She was laughing so hard. Today, I thought I'm just going to go live, see if anybody wants to pop in and say hello while I make a birthday cake. Well, lo and behold, the only thing I had in the pantry are cakes I shouldn't have. And I know my sister's going to say right now, I just made a pineapple upside down cake with sugar substitute. It turned out really good. And I thought about doing that, but I don't have any pineapple and I don't want to run to the store. So I did find something that I had in the pantry that I'm going to make for my birthday. I'll be quite honest with you guys. I got up this morning. I had a cup of coffee. Stuart Little's running around in the corner of my kitchen right now. He runs under the fridge, then over to a little bag of trash I have, and then back under the fridge. Little stinker. I'm going to have to set the live trap up. So we're going to call him Stuart now. So if you see me going like this, it's that. God, I swear to God, it's like attention deficit disorder today. I know it was good, Marilee. It looked really good. But I did have a sugar-free brownie mix in the pantry. So I'm going to whip up a little bit of the sugar-free brownie real quick. My hands have been washed. It's not like I've been over there, playing and petting on Stuart Little. We live on a farm. We have mice. Every once in a while, they find their way in. They cause a little bit of havoc. And then we catch them in a live trap because, I'm an empath and I can't stand to kill them. I even cry. Like if I leave the mop bucket out overnight and one of them drowns in the mop bucket, I cry. It's like, I'm sorry, little guy. I didn't mean to kill you. What's funny is when they get into the dog food and then they put it in my boot and I go to put my boot on and I have dog food in my boot. But Jim collects the trap in the morning and I'll say, where are you going? He says, I'm going to the train station. So that's what we call the corn crib, way out at the other end of the property. He takes the mice out there. So, but if I get to where it becomes a huge problem, we'll have to do something different. Unless it's all natural sweet. I know the fakes are awful. I know. But I'm going with what I got today. I'm just going to go with what I got today and be happy I've got it. Is it Michi? Am I saying it right? Or is it Michi, like Michelle? Have a squirrel in our attic right now, hubby. Abby's been trying to get him. When we renovated our living room, my husband put a hole in the ceiling and this big, huge squirrel nest fell out. It was hysterical. So I am making a 0 sugar brownie mix today. And like I said, my hands are clean. So we're just going to do it, even though we do the whole homesteading thing and trying to do better, I'm going to make one out of a box. And that's just going to be the way it is. Hey, sis, how you doing? We're making brownies. I got to tell you, today's my birthday. On the 25th is my sister Nightmare's birthday. And then on the 29th is my sister-in-law Deb's birthday. So I will eat your brownies for you. Here, Stuart, have some crumbs. To our little box mix, 3 tablespoons of water. One of my beautiful farm fresh eggs. Look at the color on that egg. It's a beautiful green. I put a picture up of my eggs the other day and somebody said they look like Easter eggs because I'm getting green, different shades of green, blue, pink, tan, brown. I'm getting so many beautiful eggs from my girls. I'm so glad they've started laying again. And when I use my farm fresh eggs, isn't it an oxymoron using beautiful farm fresh eggs with a box mix? Whatever. I always crack them into a little bowl because you never know when you're going to crack one and it's going to be nasty. It happens from time to time. If your chicken has an issue, it happens. And 1/3 of oil, 1/3 cup. I don't know about you guys, but I love these little dispensers for my oil. I'll show it to you in case you can see it right there. I love these things, but you know what else I love to use them for? My dish soap. I love putting my dish soap because it's pretty when it's at your sink. What do you guys say? He bought some. He's ready to disperse the traps. No. Let's see the box. Mare, because of the whole thing with YouTube, I'll tell you. Oh, hang on. You have to be careful when you was showing name brand stuff sometimes. There's the box. But the little guy gives it away, doesn't it? Zero sugar brownie mix. How bad is this going to be for me? It's bad enough. But not really. I mean, by the time I do the math, it's 11 grams. I can live with 11 grams of carbs. The trick is that's per serving. And we all know you can't have just one serving. How amazing you are. Thank you. I'm so proud of you. Love this live chat. Oh, thanks, sis. Oh, it's the same one you used for your cake. You didn't use a chocolate brownie. You used that brand. I gotcha. And yes, the eggs are beautiful, Nicole. Thank you. They're so beautiful this year. So we're just going to mix this all together. It's not like I wanted you to come on. Cha-ching! That's two. Cha-ching! I just sold another pattern. I got to tell you a secret, though. No, it's not really a secret. And it's not really anything, major. But I've been doing really well with my sales. But today I went onto my shop and I put everything 10% off for my birthday. And I told a couple of groups, I said, hey, today's my birthday, but my crochet friends get the gifts. So, come on over to my shop and everything's 10% off. So I think that's probably why I got a couple of extra sales. So I got myself a little glass baking dish. Like I said, my hands are clean. Going to do it the way grandmas do it and just spread a little bit of butter here on the bottom of my baking dish with my big old fat fingers. Because I'm the only one and Papa Jim's the only one who's going to be eating it anyways. So who cares if my fingers are all over the baking dish? I don't. But you know what it reminds me of? I was thinking about this earlier. It's like, it says to spray a nonstick spray, and I don't, they're behind me. They are behind me on the counter there. But if I can use this, I'll use this. I'll use real butter if I can. But it reminds me of that movie when Peggy Sue got married. Remember when Peggy Sue goes back to the 1950s and she goes into the kitchen and she sits with her mom and she starts, buttering the dishes that mom's going to be using for baking the bread and stuff. Gosh, that's it's a great part of the movie because I need a towel. I wish, you watch movies like when Peggy Sue got married, when they first come out. And when that first came out, it was like in the 80s. And, Jim and I were just first married and I had both my parents. I have 3 parents. But now when I watch it, now that my mom is gone, I'd give anything to go back to when my mom was healthy and I was a teenager and come home and just do something with my mom in the kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome to go back and do that? I could see why Peggy Sue loved so many things when she did that. Watched part of it, but my parents were offended, so I never saw the whole thing. Oh, you need to go back and watch it. Hey, Gwen, Broke Cowgirl, how are you? Oh, okay, Steph. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it very, very much. Why were your parents offended? Was it because of the whole Lucky Chucky thing? Wink, wink. I bet you it was. I bet you your parents didn't like the whole Lucky Chucky. Does Lucky Chucky want to come out and play? I won't say the whole thing. We all know what I'm talking about. Okay. Do not eat the raw brownie batter is what it says on the box. Whatever. I'm going to live life dangerously. I'm just going to scoop this into my bowl. I might even lick the bowl later. And spread this around just a little bit. God, I love brownies. You know what I wanted to do? This box has a recipe for making cream cheese brownies. And I was going to do the whole cream cheese topping with the sugar substitute so it wouldn't be so bad for me. Mix it all up and then swirl it into the brownies. It's like, I got cream cheese in my fridge. I'll go grab cream cheese. I'm going to make the cream cheese brownies. I looked and looked and looked, and I found one block of cream cheese in the very, very back, and it's so far gone expired, I don't dare risk it. So I'm just going to do regular brownies. Brownie batter is better than the brownies, right? It's so good. It's so good. I'm good, Gwen. I'm glad you're here. Somebody favorited something in my shop. I had plans to plant some things in the garden today, but we had monsoon rain last night. Must be the rain we had a couple days. I probably sent it your way. I don't recall where you are. But I went out earlier today to grab something. I'll show you in a moment what it is. I had to go out to my summer kitchen, feed the chickens, and grab something. And just when I walked out, all these little tiny little white things started falling out of the sky. It wasn't snow, and it wasn't sleet. It looked like God up in heaven plopped down on his beanbag too hard, and he split the seam on a beanbag, and it looked like all the little styrofoam balls out of a beanbag were falling out of the sky. They were everywhere. They just looked like little styrofoam balls all over the place. You have plenty of seeds. You don't want to bog up your knees in the mud. Yeah. Somebody else favorited something in my shop. Oh, it's a good day. Okay, let me pop this over in my turkey roaster because I don't know if you guys know, but here on the farm, I don't have a traditional oven. I have a little toaster oven that is also a convection oven. And then I have my turkey oven. So I'm going to go pop this in my turkey oven. You had hail over at your place, Mare? Let me go pop this in the oven real quick. Watch out, Stuart. Make way. Woohoo! Cha-ching! Holy Moses. Did you guys hear that cha-ching? That was another cha-ching. Woo! How many have I sold now? Let me see. Sometimes, though, my phone does double cha-chings. Sometimes it lies to me. And I think I've sold more than I have. Oh, look at that. 5 orders today. Yes. Oh gosh, I'm close. If I reached my milestone right now, I'll share it with you. No, not yet. Almost, not yet. Okay, moving on. We've got the brownies in the oven. I need to check the box and see what I need to set the timer for on my phone. Oh, let's do hairball. Let's do 25 minutes, then we'll check on them because that was a pretty thin layer. And then I'm going to get into the craft I want to share with you guys today because I think it's so adorable. Here's my clock on my phone. Let's set this for 25 minutes, and then we'll check our stuff. Love the chicken egg apron. So cute. Thank you. I love it. I worked on that pattern for so long. 12 months. I was looking at the egg gathering aprons. Let me tell you a little bit about the story about it. I was looking at the egg gathering aprons. I thought they're so cute, but I didn't like the little rounded pockets in the front. And then I found one I thought I liked a little bit better. And so I purchased the pattern. And I crocheted all my pieces. It's a beautiful pattern. And then you had to like pin everything and sew everything and count everything and line it up just right. And I put it away. I didn't finish it and I was frustrated. And I thought there has to be an easier way to do this. So I sat and I thought of a way to come up with one that's no sew and you don't have to pin and count and do all these things. And I refined it over and over and over again for 12 months, made samples to wear out to collect eggs with the chickens to make sure it would work right, did all this stuff. And I finally released it. My patterns have only been out. I put them out, I think February 13th was when I put my first pattern out. And I'm ready to hit a major milestone. I really am. So cool. So let's see here. Oh, I'm getting some favorited stuff here. Let's see. Gwen's underneath hail warnings, but thankfully she didn't get any. Thank you for doing that, Michelle. Missy's Crochet Nook. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy them. I love them so much. I just don't think there's anything else out there in the egg gathering apron world like those. And thankfully you were able to purchase today. You got a birthday discount. My birthday gift to you is you got a little bit of discount there. Oh, so Deb says, hey, Mary, you're here too. Happy birthday to you. I was born to entertain the masses. So fun and funny. Love you. Such a wonderful sense of humor. Thank you. If you guys want to see a good sense of humor, you got to go back. Well, if you want to see something that I did with my sense of humor, which sometimes is funny, sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's just sarcastic, and sometimes if it weren't for the gutter, my mind would be homeless. So there's those types too. Jim and I did a video last week, and it's based off of something that's really big right now on the internet. Right now, this woman who had seen a recipe in an old book, kind of like all the old cookbooks that I have, it was called How to Catch a Husband Soup. So she modified it a little bit and she calls it husband soup. And I thought, well, that's kind of a funny name. And so did a lot of other people. And I started reading the comments that people were leaving on her husband soup. And I thought, oh, this is classic. This is great. So Jim and I made husband soup. And I took some of that material from those comments from her post and I integrated it into the video. So all I'm going to say is you've got to go watch it. I submitted it to a Facebook page that does recipes for Instant Pot because we made it in the Instant Pot. And they said, you know, it's a great video, but there's just a little bit too much adult humor in it. We can't post it. So, you know, but we had a lot of fun. I'll give you a little hint. When I go to cut up the Italian sausage, we know that a normal knife isn't going to work. And of course, this is a sausage that my husband has graciously provided for me. And so I need something to chop up my husband's sausage. So we get out our big cleaver, and our big cleaver's name is Lorena. So if you get the reference, I had to let Rochelle kind of know what that was about. Oh, my goat birthing videos put me over the top with subs and watch hours. Hey, congrats. That's great, Gwen. That's wonderful. I really don't need to start another project, but I can't wait to start this apron. I already have someone in mind to give it to. Michelle, that's great. That is wonderful. I have to tell you guys, this is so exciting. And I doubt that the young lady who is related to this next comment that I'm going to tell you about, I don't think she'll be watching. I hope she does. It would be great if she popped in. She and I are friends on Facebook, and she and I kind of follow each other on Facebook. And she purchased the Nesting Hens egg gathering apron. And we started talking back and forth. And she says, you know, I'm going to make a bunch of them for a craft, this big, it's not a craft fair, it's a festival. She goes, I have a booth at a festival, and I'm going to make a bunch of these aprons. It's like, awesome, that's great. It makes me happy to hear that people are going to actually do something wonderful with these patterns. And she says, yeah, it's for our area's Colonel Sanders, like the Kentucky Fried Chicken Festival. And she says they're like the hometown of Colonel Sanders. I said, oh my gosh, isn't that something? My husband's family knew the Colonel. Jim grew up knowing the Colonel. I've got pictures of Jim and many members of his family with the Colonel. Jim's grandmother and grandfather used to hang out with the Colonel all the time. They used to go to the races together. They used big history in the family with Colonel Sanders. It's so steeped in this family history that when Jim and I got married, he even wore a Colonel Sanders tie tack to our wedding. I mean, Colonel Sanders is a big deal to this family. So, cha-ching. Oh, Michelle, you're being too kind. So brain lapse, like a brain cloud right there. Oh yeah, it was, we named our cleaver Lorena Bobbitt. We did it. What was I talking about? See how my brain is just not the way it used to be. Oh, so the very first apron that she sold, even before the festival, she sold it to the tourism board for this Colonel Sanders thing. And it's kind of like their apron now. And they're going to wear it to all of their public events to promote the Colonel Sanders and Kentucky Fried Chicken and their community. And that apron is going to the World Chicken Festival wherever that is. I don't know. But it's like, that is so awesome. I love that. I love it. All right, Deb, the 3 birthday girls, spouses need to go to Hickory Park soon. That would be fun. And then I saw something, Nicole said something about her goats. Oh, when it happened, I told hubby I need more goats, and he was okay with that. I miss my goats so much. My goats really provided me so much joy, but I'm really thankful that I had found them new homes before that really bad storm we had took down the barn, because I know I would have had loss of life if that would have happened. So as much as I miss them, I know that they were safer and not here. So, anyways, I miss my goats. I really look forward to seeing some of your goat videos, Gwen. That's really awesome. So while the brownies are in the oven, you know, there's this big trend going around right now for these really cute coasters. Let me grab the coasters because I made some to show you. So there's this first coaster. It's this green coaster. Michelle, maybe you've seen it. It's a succulent, right? So you make all the coasters and you kind of stack them on top of each other, kind of off center. I think I've brought 3 of them here with me. And then when you fold them kind of like this, then they look like a succulent. And you put them in a little pot, and you can keep it by your coffee pot or whatever. So you have these little succulents. And when you want to make your coffee, you just pull one out of the center and you can set it on the countertop and you put your coffee on it. Gosh, I didn't warm up my coffee. I was going to have coffee today. So I made these. And the thing is with this pattern, it's a wonderful pattern. If you want to look it up on YouTube, I will give full credit to the young lady who does these. It's Brunticality is I think how you say her channel name. I don't know where she's from, but she uses, this is a 4-ply cotton. I use this 4-ply cotton for all of my stuff. And she uses a 2-ply cotton. And so hers are much more, I don't know, they're thinner, they're more malleable. You can shape them and do things with them because they're not as thick. And I don't have access to that cotton right now unless I want to buy it online, and I just don't tend to do that. So she also makes a little pot for them, like a little terracotta pot, but she makes it out of cord, and I don't have that either. So I tried to make a pot. I couldn't quite figure out what I was doing wrong. And then, and because it's thicker, it's almost like they don't sit in the pot right. So then I bought myself a little cup. I bought myself these little cups at the thrift store. Aren't those adorable? Look. They have just little detail on them. I got them for a nice little price. And then I thought, well, I'll just take my little succulents and I'll put them in the cup. And then you just kind of twist the succulents around and, you know, then you've got the succulents in a cup. It doesn't quite work the same. It doesn't. So this morning I looked at another pattern that she has that's really popular right now. And it's this flower. I didn't sew the ends on in the back. But this is the coaster. Whoops, Michelle, maybe you've seen it. I love the cups. I love the cups. So here's this little flower. It when it's on the countertop, of course, it lays flat. But with these, what you do is you fold them in 4s, and then you make a bunch of them and you put them in the little cup, and then it looks like a little bouquet of flowers in the cup. And I thought, well, those are really cute. But again, she uses a different type of yarn. And yes, I could probably put 4, 6 in this cup. But the more I thought about it, the more I really wanted to do a craft today while I'm waiting for my my brownies to bake. I want to show you. I made some of these a while back. It's been a while since I made them, but I bought 8 of those little cups. I brought 8 of those little cups, Nicole. And so what I want to do with them is what I'm going to do here. What I've been doing is I've been going to the thrift store and I look for the really pretty little teacup and saucer sets. Somebody's been beating me to the punch, because I used to be able to get them for like 50 cents. And this is what I do with them. Let me put the lid back on my butter. And Michelle, if you're still here, I think you'll think these are just adorable. Look at this little teacup with a rose in it. Isn't that pretty? And I just love these little teacup and saucer sets. Like I said, I was able to get them for a really good price. And then I crochet. This is not a doily. It's like a face cloth or a washcloth. It's actually kind of posed out there from, oh, I had the name in my head. I want to make sure I give proper credit. Mikey does it. Mikey does this for, it'll come to me. He's got his own channel and Yarn Inspirations. Mikey has a tutorial for this for Yarn Inspirations, and I'll put that in the description box after this video is done being live. But I made several of these a while back, and I've gifted a couple of them, but I just think they're so pretty. So I get the little teacups, the little teacup and saucer, and then I crochet the face cloth. And I think it's rude to say, Happy Mother's Day. Here's a dishcloth so you can wash the dishes. I just don't like that. So I say it's a face cloth or a washcloth. And then at the thrift store, then I was able to get this, you know, this netting for like a quarter. And I just cut it in strips, and I'll show you how we'll do that. And then I tie it into a nice little bow. And when you stick it in the cup, then it looks like the leaves of the rose. And I just love this. Let me show you what the face cloth looks like. We have one day at church each year that the women get together and bring a pretty teacup to exchange with the other women. That would be adorable to put a crochet into a gift. Well, Gwen, I know you crochet. So we're going to go through that. You like the yellow rose? We're going to, I brought 2 colors of my cotton yarn today, Nicole. So I need you guys right now to vote. Do you want me to make, let me grab my things out of the way here. Do you want me to make another yellow rose? Or do we want to see what a red rose looks like? So comment below, yellow or red. Which one would you like to see? And we'll work one up. I'll show you how to work it. And that way you can refer back to this to the pattern, or I'll put the link down below to Mikey's pattern. So you'll have that. You'll have that as well. You're going to happen at the next teacup exchange. I think that would be wonderful, Gwen. I think that would be so great. Let me show you this rose. I took the leaves off. Look at how beautiful this is. Now, like I said, I'd hate to give this to somebody and say, look at this beautiful rose. It's to wash dishes. Now go home and wash the dishes. But look how big. Look at this. It's like a 9-inch beautiful round cloth. And you could use this for in the shower. If you wanted to put it underneath a potted plant, is a really pretty doily under a potted plant, especially since it's cotton, you could. But look how pretty that is. Isn't it amazing that this turns into a rose? We're going to go through all of that. So while my brownies are baking, I need you guys to tell me red or yellow. And while you guys are commenting below red or yellow, because I do have 7 or 8 of you in here, while you're doing that, I'm going to warm up a cup of coffee. I'm going to pop it in the mic, my little retro mic back there. Isn't that adorable? I didn't have a microwave for like 2 years. And then Lisa over at Yogi Hollow Farm, she gifted me with a gift certificate. And so that's what we got. We got that little retro little thing. I love it. Let me grab a cup of coffee because I have to have some coffee. I'm going to grab one of my Country Mama. Look at this. This is my Country Mama cup. I'm not trying to sell you something. I just want to show it to you. It says, this, I need to learn to live by this more. It says, a wise girl once said, let that shit go. And she lived happily ever after. I got to let some stuff go. Let me warm this up. And we will start our crochet project once I get my coffee warmed up. I see you guys are voting. I see you're voting. Keep it up. Let me add a little creamer to my coffee. I haven't seen Stuart in a hot minute. I think he took off. I think when he heard me talk about Lorena, I think he got scared because, you know, the farmer's wife and the 3 blind mice thing. I think he bailed. I got so many eggs. Warming that up. Now, I've not washed this. Of course, and now I'm touching things. I have to show you the turkey egg I got the other day. Red, red, red. Okay, I see lots of reds. We'll do red. Look at this turkey egg I got the other day. Look how it's curved. That poor turkey. It's all speckled, but it's not perfectly oval. It comes up and it curves over that way. I'm saving this one to make some mayonnaise. I'm going to make mayonnaise with it. Okay, so I think we're looking at doing red. I see a few votes for red. So for those of you who want to do this, use cotton. This is a 4-ply. I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby. Now you can use peaches and cream, those ones that you can get like at Walmart stuff, but it's a thicker, more dense cotton yarn, and you're not going to have the flexibility that you would have if you use the I Love This Cotton yarn or something similar. I use those thicker yarns for like my canning mats and my dishcloths because there's more sustenance to them. Sustenance. There's more sustenance. So let me grab my coffee, and then we're going to start on a red flower, and we're going to put the red flower in our new little cup that we picked up at the thrift store. And I'm going to make a bunch of these. I'm going to see if the locals want them to, to buy them for Mother's Day. I don't want to ship them because I don't want any breakage. And have you guys seen how much it is to ship things these days? My goodness. It is costing so much money to ship things. Every once in a while, I sell an apron. I only use cotton for crochet stuff, except my heirloom quilt. I can't wait to see how that's going. And it's cotton too, just not yarn. I know you're using that cotton string. And we are week 49 just posted. And Michelle, if you're still here, we're doing a crochet along. You might like to do that with us. Anybody can join at any time. Somebody said the other day when I was talking about, they said, I can't because I don't crochet fast. You don't have to crochet fast. All of the videos are there all the time. You can just pick it up whenever you want. I know Mara Lee's doing it, Dinky Nightmare, who did not know how to crochet, but she's been faithfully watching tutorials and she has picked it up and she's making that Afghan. I'm proud of her for that. Okay, you guys don't have to grab your stuff and join in. I'm just going to share with you how we're going to make this. When you make this, shipping is expensive. It is. I got some yarn the other day, but accidentally ordered the wrong weight size, but it is crazy expensive to ship back. Oh, I'm glad you like the videos. Hi. Hi, Diana. Welcome. It's nice to see you. I think I've seen that name before, Daigo Crochet. You're friends with, are you friends with Nisi? I think you might be friends with Nisi. If that name's familiar to you, you'll let me know. Originally from West Texas. Okay, so I don't want to bring the camera down. I'm going to take my glasses off because they're making me dizzy. And I apologize that the hair and the makeup is not, my normal thing. But you want to have a weight, 4-weight cotton yarn. And, you guys, you're going to be able to see the red. You're going to be able to see the yellow better, but we'll do red because you guys want to do red. But I'll try holding it up close once we get around each round done so you can see. And this is not the way my tutorials normally go. I usually have a top-down camera angle and they're all edited and everything's done that way. But because I just want to do this today while I'm waiting for my brownies, which are almost done, by the way, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to make this. Let's see. Diana, I'm going to put this back together so you can see what we're working on. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's a pattern from Mikey over at Yarn Inspirations. And I just thought, well, it was my birthday. I had 2 options today, Diana. Go back to bed because I'm here on the farm by myself. Go back to bed and take a nap, or come on YouTube and do a little crochet craft and make some brownies for my birthday and say hi to people that I know and love, make some new friends. And I thought, well, while we're waiting for those brownies to work up, I'll crochet something real quick. This one's quick and easy. We were talking about the, before you came on, Diana, we were talking about the coasters that Bruticalities got really popular right now. And this is just something a little different. So let me pop this into my little cup here so you can see what we're making. And Gwen says she's already going to make some of these for her next get together at church. The ladies get together and they exchange pretty little teacups. So I've got this little tea saucer and I got the little cup, and we're going to make these little roses, and it's a facial cloth, and it's got the material that makes the little leaves when you tie it on. For the life of me right now, I can't think of what this is called. Somebody help me. Somebody who crochets, let me know what this scratchy stuff that you make scrunchies out of, the scrubbies. What's it called? Isn't it cute? Isn't it cute, Diana? So we're going to be making this today, and everybody voted red. I brought yellow and I brought red. You're not going to be able to see the red so much, but we're going to be okay. We'll make it work. Tulle. Thank you. Thank you, Tulle. I'm telling you, I need to write these things down because I am going to be talking to my doctor and see if I need to like have a CAT scan or something. For those of you who are joining late, I had a concussion a couple weeks ago. And it's like my brain's not working right. But it wasn't working right before the concussion because I got the concussion because I did something stupid because I wasn't thinking right. Thank you for the happy birthday wish, Diane. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay. I got my notes here. I've got my coffee. I've got 1 minute and 51 seconds left on my sugar-free brownies. Don't worry about not knowing how to spell it. I didn't even know how to call it. I didn't even know what to call it. You're fine. All right. To make this flower, take notes if you need to. Like I said, I'll put Mikey's pattern, a link to it, down in the bottom of the description once this is done. So just start with a slip knot for those of you who like to crochet. And we're going to chain 4. I know brownies, yum, huh? And like I said, for those of you who haven't seen my tutorials, Diana, this is not how I normally do tutorials. I usually have a whole top-down setup and everything. But we're going to chain 4. I just want to show you guys how to make this. I think it's so cute. We're going to chain 4, and we're going to slip stitch to the first chain so we can form a little ring. If you guys have not done this before, I do have several videos that show you how to do that. Super simple. I want to know, Diana, do you like to use magic circles, Diana? Or do you like to do something different? Right now, it's really trending to chain 2 and then work all of your stitches into the first chain as a magic circle, but I think it comes undone easier. This is a little different. I'm going to go ahead and do the chain 4 and then slip stitch and work in the ring because you do need that center definition for this little pretty rose that we're doing. I love the magic circle. I love it. And I kind of do my own thing. I do it different than most people do, but I do like the magic circle. All right. So in our ring of the chain 4 that we did, I like to do this too. I like to chain 2 instead of chaining 3, because if I chain 3, that counts as my first double crochet, and then I join, I find it's a little sloppy. I'd rather just chain 2. So I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to place 9. There's my timer. Brownies are brownies. I'm just hitting buttons because I can't see them because I took my glasses off. We're going to do 9 double crochet in that ring. And so our first chain 2 will count as a double crochet. And then we'll put 9 more in. So in reality, we're really starting with 10 double crochet because our chains are going to count as the first double crochet. And I'm not going to just go into a full crochet tutorial here. I'm still going to chit chat with you guys and talk about goofy things, but I really want to show you how to do this because I think it's so adorable. Let me see how many I got here because I wasn't counting because I was talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 more. 1 more in the center, and then I'm going to take the brownies out so that they can cool. So 1 more double crochet in the center. And I think what I'll do, I don't know though, I don't want to get in trouble with Mikey. Like I said, I'm going to give Mikey full credit for this, but I don't know if I can do like a copycat tutorial and give him the credit still. But once you're done with your 10 double crochet, and then you join with a slip stitch, you've got this little ring. Let's see right there. You see that? Got that little ring? And that's the center of that dishcloth. Heaven forbid. I hate calling it a dishcloth, but that's what Mikey calls it. Your face cloth, your washcloth, your spa cloth. Give it to a woman who needs a great break in her life and put some, oh my God, are you guys ready for this? Get a little bag, the little tool bags that have the little drawstring, and put some beautiful dried scented, whatever, the little bath petals, and put that in the bottom of the teacup. And then put this on top, this pretty little rose on top. And then when you gift it, you can say, you know what, this is a spa cloth. And then inside are some really pretty like dried roses and lavender and all of the pretty little things that she can put in her bath. That's what that needs to be done with. It can be any kind of cloth you want it to be. Would be cute sitting in the sink in a cup. Yes, absolutely. Let me grab the brownies. I'll set them to cool, and then we'll move on to round 2. And I thank you guys for sticking around with me. This is so nice. Like I said, I could either go back and take a nap on my birthday as I sit here by myself, or I could do something fun with some friends. So let me take the brownies out. I'm going to set them to cool, and then we'll come back and do round 2. I also have to hope that Stuart will not jump out and gnaw my face off. If you hear me scream, send help. It might mean that Stuart has gotten a hold of me. They need 5 more minutes. Okay. Moving on to round 2. Oh, I lost some of you. I'm down to 4, but that's okay. I can talk to myself. If you guys move on and have a wonderful day, but I'm going to continue on with this. So where we joined, we're going to chain 2 because that's going to count as our first double crochet. And I'm going to double crochet right back into where I joined. If you guys want a different tutorial for this with the top down, let me know. I'll see if I can do that without breaking any laws or rules or, crochet etiquette. It is a free pattern, so never, ever, ever do tutorials on paid patterns. That's a big no-no. In each stitch around, we're going to place 2 double crochet. It's that simple for round 2. And as I say that, I split my fibers and couldn't complete my double crochet. There's 1 and 2, and I'm just going to do 2 double crochet in every stitch around. Gwen, when you make these for church, I do hope you share a picture. I'd love to see how they turn out. And hit those. I got a tickle. Hit those yard sales, hit the thrift stores, get the really pretty china. I have another little china cup and saucer that I got, and it's up on top of my floating lettuce garden that's in the kitchen here. And I have an orchid in it that my son and my daughter-in-law gave me, I think for my birthday or Mother's Day, like 2 or 3 years ago. I haven't killed it yet. It is a miracle because houseplants and fish, like don't entrust me to houseplants and fish. Good. Look at everybody's making friends with everybody. Everybody's just like, I love it when people are like, hey, be my friend, or come find my channel, or somebody says, I like you, I'm going to find your channel. Everybody gets along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We've got 1 last stitch right here. We're going to place 2 more double crochet into that stitch. So we have a total of 20. Are you taking notes? Round 2, 20 double crochet. Join with a slip stitch to close that round. And when you're done, you have these 2 pretty little rounds of perfect little double crochets. Okay. Let me see what my notes say for round 3. Round 3 changes up a little bit, ladies. Where we joined, we're going to slip stitch in between the double crochets below. When you've got a grouping of 2, you slip stitch in between there. Pull your yarn back through, and you're going to complete the slip stitch, and then it says chain 3, but again, I like to chain 2. And place another double crochet in that same space in between the double crochets. We're going to have groupings of 2 now, I think. Double check. Yep. So we've got this chain 2 grouping here. We're going to chain 1, chain 2 grouping, 2 double crochet grouping. We're going to chain 1. That provides us with a chain 1 space. We're going to go to this next grouping of the 2 double crochets, and we're going to place 2 double crochets in between there. So we're splitting the 2 double crochets and placing 2 double crochets with a chain in between. You do that too? You chain 2 as well? I don't like the chain 3. It always looks just kind of, Lorena would not approve. Were you here for my Lorena comment earlier, Diana? Let me scroll back for something because I want to make, oh yes, Nisi, you do know Nisi, and that's where you know me too. Isn't that wonderful? And you know Michelle. Look at this. This is so great. Everybody knows everybody. I wanted to double check, make sure it was Diana, not Diane. I want to make sure that I do that properly. So now we're just going to do 2 double crochet, chain 1, in between the double crochets of each grouping of 2 double crochets on that increase round of round 2. And so that just goes smoothly. It's just your 2 double crochet, chain 1. You go to your next grouping and split it, 2 double crochet, chain 1. It makes a really nice little round 3. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Glenda's here. Glenda knows that I've been just a little bit, I don't want to say under the weather. I just haven't been myself. I haven't been as social as I normally am. I'm not going to be turned into a Debbie Downer here, but nap or come on and bake some brownies and crochet. That's what I chose for today. So I'm glad you were able to join me. I'm glad that you're here. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. Probably not, because my husband's obnoxious fish tank is making a lot of noise in the background. Sometimes when I go live downstairs, somebody says, are you peeing? No, I'm not peeing. What's that noise? It's the fish tank. The water level is low, so it sounds like a fountain instead of just, a quiet little fish tank. When you get your last set of your 2 double crochet, you're going to chain 1 and then just join with a slip stitch to the top of that chain 2. That counts as your first double crochet, and we're going to finish that round. And it is going to pucker a little bit. It's okay. As your rounds come on, it's going to straighten out just fine. Let me hold it up and see if you can see it. I should have like a piece of paper to put behind it. But there's round 3 of our little flower that we're making. Glad you're live. Just got home from Tennessee for my birthday. Happy birthday to you. Gwen says she's been a walking zombie from lack of sleep while waiting for baby goats. Well, it's worth the lack of sleep just to get to the baby goat part. Oh, man, I miss having babies born on the farm. I'm telling you, I have a chicken going broody. WKRP in Cincinnati, you're live on the air.
Oh, yeah.
What's your question, caller?
It's her birthday.
Thank you, sweetie. I only did that because I'm live right now on YouTube, and I didn't want to not answer the phone. This is my oldest son. He's the one who made me a mommy first. Thank you, sweetie. Can I call you back in a little while?
Yeah, I'll probably be in a barn, but I'm going to leave here in a little bit, so.
Okay.
I just wanted to call him till today, happy birthday and stuff, so I'll talk to you later.
All right, sweetie. I love you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's sweet. That's 3 out of 4. Got 4 boys. 3 of them have contacted me today. Wish me happy birthday. The waiting and the watching is awful, but once it's there, it's so wonderful. It really is. Anyways, I got a broody hen starting up, and I've been toying with the idea. Do I just let her sit on a clutch, or do I see if I can break her right now because I'm not sure if I want to deal with any baby chicks right now because I'm going to be going on that trip. And I don't think it's fair to add more to Papa Jim's plate while I'm going to be gone. All of yours called you yesterday. That's so wonderful. Happy birthday. Yeah, WKRP in Cincinnati. Gwen got it. I'm no Lonnie Anderson, but I can play. It's funny. My daughter-in-law was very sick recently. That's one of the things that just kind of took me on this. I don't want to call it a spiral. I don't know. I haven't been myself lately. My daughter-in-law was very sick and sick to the point where like, we don't know if she's going to make it. I mean, she was spiraling so quickly. And I had gone with her on yet another trip to the emergency room because she just kept getting in that revolving door of going in. They'd keep her a couple hours and kick her out. And so I went with her because I'm going to set people straight and we're going to get her admitted. And I'm talking to the doctor and we're ping-ponging ideas. I really thought I had the case solved like house. I really thought I had it figured out because I said something and he's like, yes. And he jumped up and he went to the computer and we're talking back and forth. He's like, no, that's not it. Because he looked at some of her lab work. I was like, And I said, I'm not a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. And the nurse just cracked up laughing. The doctor, who's from another country, he didn't get it. But then my poor daughter-in-law, who's laying in that hospital bed sicker than a dog, after about 3 minutes, she goes, you stayed at a hotel last night? I had to explain to her the whole thing about, those commercials that used to be out about, I may not be an actor, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Or I may not be a nuclear physicist, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn. It was a lot of fun. You have 2 bantams that are acting broody. Put eggs in the nest, and now they aren't. I don't want to have Papa Jim have to deal with chicks while I'm gone. And that's another reason why everybody, don't fall over. I have no seedlings started. My garden's not cleared out. I've done nothing. I have nothing started. My floating lettuce garden doesn't even have any lettuce growing in it. Partly because I've been in a little bit of a funk and partly because I don't want to get everything started and then leave for a week. We don't have our last frost until well after the first week in June. And I don't want it to be where Papa Jim has to worry about covering up any seedlings or anything like that if there's a frost. Can't do it. So let's move on to round 4. For round 4, we're just going to slip stitch over to the first chain space. So we're going to slip stitch into this next double crochet. And again, I'll have the instructions for you and slip stitch over to that first chain 1 space. We're going to chain 2. We're going to double crochet into that same chain space. Isn't it sad that it's been so long that I've made these? I have to look at my notes. So we're going to chain 2, double crochet, chain 1, and then 2 double crochet in that same space. So we've created like a little shell where normally you'd have 3, but now we're just doing, I smell brownies. Give me 1 second. Now I think they're done. Wouldn't it be awful if I burnt them? Gosh dang it. Trying to do this without burning myself. I'm not being successful. Talk amongst yourselves. This is the time to make fun of me while I'm not right in front of the camera. I can't lift it. Holy crud. I'm having a hard time lifting it. I'll be right back. All right, brownies are cooling. Oven's off. Stuart has fled. Thank you. Okay. So continuing on with round 4, I will get this done. I'll show you how pretty it looks. We're going to turn it into a rose. Round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. We're going to chain 1. And in the very next chain 1 space, 2 double crochet. Chain 1, 2 double crochet. We're going to do that all the way around. So simple. Gwen, I cannot wait for you to make some of these. Chain 1 and do the same shell in the next chain 1 space. 2 double crochet. Chain 1, 2 double crochet. Just do that all the way around in every chain 1 space. I need a drink. I need some coffee. Have we had anybody else pop in? Gwen. I'm country mama. I'm glad the L's in there. Oh, goodness. Okay. To our chain 1 space, we're going to chain 2 or double crochet 2. Chain 1, double crochet 2. You're going to do several rounds of just these really fun alternating shells and groupings of 3 double crochet. And then when we get to the end, we're going to put a pretty scallop on the end on that last round, and it's going to turn it into our beautiful flower. And then we'll put it all together and we will turn it into a rose. We have a new plant store in town. That's why I wanted to do the succulents. I was going to be like, want some succulents for your plant store that'll never die for people like me that kill plants? But I tell you, I just couldn't get that basket to be right. And I've read several comments online where people are having issues with the little pot for the succulent coasters. I've got a bottle of milk warming. Gonna go run and feed a baby goat. Ah! I'm so jelly. I'm 56 today. I'm too old to say jelly, but I'm jelly. 56 times around the sun. And some of you may or may not know, I almost didn't make it to 50. I didn't think I'd see my 49th birthday, let alone my 56th. Ladies, get your ovaries checked every year. They will try to kill you. Mine didn't care for me very much. Oh my gosh, I have to share something with you. I shared this with my sister-in-law, Denise, the other day. Actually, yesterday. Let's finish off this round. We're here at the end of this round. We've done our groupings in all of our little chain 1 spaces. And now we're just going to simply chain 1 and slip stitch to the very first double crochet, which is really chain 2, to close that round. Round 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me hold this up. I really wish I had something. I said, let me hold this book up. I'll hold the crochet in front of the book so you guys can see how beautiful it is. When the book is red, it's not going to do you any good. Oh, golly. Anyways, after round 4, you can see that our circle is growing with all of these different little shells and groupings of the double crochets. So, because I think the majority, I don't think we have any men in here. I don't think the major has showed up. The major from London sometimes shows up. Sometimes we get Scott from Canada show up. I think it's just us girls. I want to share something really interesting that I've learned. And I shared it with my sister. God, that hairball. She just had a grandbaby born this past month. she's so excited about it. She's got other grandchildren. It's not her first grandbaby, but she's just, you know, this is from a child that we really didn't think she was ever going to have any children. And here she's got this little baby now. So I saw something the other day and it makes perfect sense. I haven't, like, I hate to use the word, but I haven't fact checked it, but it makes perfect sense that all of us here today, at one point in our lives, we resided in our grandmother's wombs. How amazing is that when you think about it? So let's break it down. When your mother was forming in her mother's womb, when your mother was about 4 to 5 months gestation as a fetus, your mother's reproduction system formed, including her ovaries that include all of her eggs. Just like a chicken has a certain number of eggs in her already, when we're born, we already have our eggs in our ovaries. Those eggs were formed at about the 4 to 5 month, I forget exactly, stage of gestation. So you, as an egg in your mother's ovary yet to be fertilized, are in that 5-month-old fetus inside of your grandmother's womb. So at one point, going backwards, we all resided in our grandmother's womb. And then our mothers were born, and our mothers carried us her entire life until that egg was released and fertilized, and then we're born. And it really gives such a unique added depth to the connection between children and their mothers and children and their grandmothers. And I understand that not everybody has the typical relationships, and some are even trying. But when you think back about that, so for instance, Glenda recently became a grandmother for the first time. Yes, I have to make sure this works because I believe it's her son. Glenda's son, not the grandchild, because I believe it's from her son. It's your son, correct, Glenda? At one point, your son resided in your mother's womb as you were being formed, but not the grandbaby. All of our children at one time lived in our grandmother's wombs. So for your granddaughter, Grace, that would be the lineage of that, the traveling of the egg. So the traveling of the egg, that would go back to your granddaughter, her mother, and her grandmother on that side. Your son resided in your womb, but also resided in your mother's womb. It's a maternal thing, yes. But I'd never heard that before. I mean, yes, we can talk genetics and DNA and all these wonderful things, but I'd never thought back the generational thing of the maternal passing down of how I actually resided in my grandmother's womb for a short period of time before my mother was born. It's crazy. It's crazy. Have you guys ever heard that before? Have you heard that? I think it's so amazing. What do I do with my book with my pattern? My red book, my red shirt, my red apron. And I'm crocheting with red yarn. All right, so we just completed round 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's move on to round 5. We've already closed round 4. We're going to slip stitch now. Let me read it again. We're going to slip stitch over to our first chain 1 space, which is in between this little shell here that we did. So we're just going to slip stitch over to that chain 1 space. And we're going to start a whole new series of these double crochets. It's why there's a special bond with the maternal side. It's almost, I said it earlier and it made me think of it. It really is almost like the sisterhood of the traveling pants. It's like the sisterhood of the traveling egg. You know, we started out as an egg in our grandmother's womb and then was carried out by our mother, and then our mother delivered us, and we've got the egg that carries on. I think it's so amazing. And it's so simple, but it's so complex. It's such a miracle. All right, round 5, we're slip stitching to the first chain 1 space. We're going to chain 2 again. That counts as our first double crochet. And then we're going to place 2 more double crochet in that same chain 1 space. So now we've got our grouping of 3 double crochet, very similar to what we do when we have our granny squares, when we work granny squares. Oh, this is an easy round. Round 5 is easy. Now we're going to chain 1. We're going to go to our next chain 1 space, 3 double crochet. It's almost like doing the granny square all the way around. So 3 double crochet and then chain 1 and go to our next chain 1 space, 3 double crochet. So I'm just going to do those groupings of 3 double crochets around in every chain 1 space as we go and see how everybody's doing in the chat. I've still hung on to 6 of you. I've still got some of you. My brownies smell so good. I did not have any ingredients to make my own frosting this time. But I did have a sugar-free tub of frosting in the pantry. And I have a confession to make. When I was going to make these into the cream cheese brownies, I thought, oh, I can make cream cheese brownies. And then I don't need the frosting. So I was going to get a spoon and I was just going to eat the frosting, because who doesn't love to do that? Even though it probably wouldn't be the best thing for me, as I'm really trying to get back on the diabetic train and behave myself. I really, really am. Now you want brownies, Glenda? I really wanted to bake a cake for today. I even got my little cake pans out, my little, is it Wilson? Gosh, see, I can't think of it, and I use them all the time. I just got my little tiny little 6-inch little cake pans that I got at the, the cake decorating area at the store. And I was going to do a double layered cake, and I was going to frost it, and I was going to have fun with the whole thing. And then I just didn't have what I needed to try to behave myself on this whole diabetic stuff. Wilson, yes, Wilson. So I did have this brownie mix, and so I'm going to do that. Let me know in the comments below while I'm working on this round. This is round, what are we on, round 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on round 5. Comment below and let me know what your favorite kind of cake is that I can't eat unless I modify it. Hi, Michelle. I'm ready for a brownie and a coffee and a nap, but you still have a few hours to go. Oh, I want a brownie so bad. I have to tell you that when I went to the store yesterday, after I went to the doctor's and promised that I would get back to a little bit better way of eating, because I just have not been a very good diabetic patient lately at all. And I admit it. I picked up some low carb Atkins brownies, but they're like the meal replacement. So instead of having something I shouldn't have, if I want to have a quick lunch or something, I'll just eat an Atkins bar. Watch how they count the carbs on those. They're tricky though, because you have to count some of those alcohols. Some of them will make you spike. But anyways, it's still better than, a cinnamon roll. God, I love cinnamon rolls. Anyways, so I bought all these goodies. Some of them are meal replacement. Some of them are snacks. And so hubby goes, we finished dinner last night. We watched an episode of the Waltons. We're watching all of the Waltons. We're on season 8 now. We watched all of Little House on the Prairie. And yes, Grace, I still know that I owe your aunt a postcard. Blame my brain, please. Tell her I love her and I'm sorry. And I promise I will get it out. I don't know. I don't even know who I am half the time anymore. Anyways, we watched all of Little House on the Prairie, and then we started the Waltons. So we're watching the Waltons, and we were watching an episode, and hubby says, did you get any snacks for us? And I said, oh, there's bags on the couch, all kinds of stuff that I picked up. And he brings over the brownies. And I said, does that say meal replacement on it? And he looks at it and goes, yeah, it's meal replacement. I said, so we just ate a meal and now you're going to give me another meal? So there's snacks over there. Go find the one that says snacks. Let's open that one. And so we can just have a tiny little snack. I think he got me a little caramel and pecan sugar-free turtle. I said, those other ones are for when I need to behave myself. So let's not double down. I have a friend one time that she was trying to lose weight. And I went over to her house one day. She made us a lovely lunch, beautiful lunch. And then I had a Diet Coke. She had a Diet Coke and a Slim Fast and her lunch. I said, what are you doing? She goes, well, I'm having Slim Fast so I can lose weight. I said, but you're eating lunch. You're supposed to replace the lunch with the Slim Fast. And she's like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, you're like doubling up for 2 meals a day because you're having your meal and the Slim Fast. Goodness gracious me. Or as my friend in Tennessee would say, bless her heart. Bless her heart. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm telling you, I bought these like contact wallpaper squares the other day. I got them at the Dollar Tree, which is now $1.25. But I bought a bunch of them because I made this fold-out board for my photo shoots. And I have extra. I bought more than I needed. So I actually started a video. And every day I was going to put another one up in the bathroom and wallpaper a wall in the bathroom and see how long it took my husband to notice. He noticed the first day. It's like now it's not even a valid video to try to edit and put up on YouTube. You had a cinnamon roll this morning. DQ ice cream cake. I'll get my birthday cake next weekend. Yum. My son who just called me for my birthday, he used to be a manager of a Dairy Queen and he used to do the cake decorating. That boy can decorate a cake, let me tell you. All right, let's see if this works a little better. We're going to use this as a backdrop. Let's show you how things are looking after this round. Can you see it better? Doesn't that look so much better? Now you can see all of the pretty little details of all of the little double crochets and everything. Oh, you're back. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let's move on. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's move on to round 6. There's not a whole bunch of rounds in this. And like I said, many of them are just like what you would have if you were doing a granny square, but we're doing it in a circle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now see, you guys know this. I just counted how many rounds. I should know what round I'm on, and my brain already lost it. I've not been the same since that concussion. I cannot keep a train of thought. And I'm stealing things. I told my doctor, I said, I'm a little nervous to tell you about what's been going on in my brain because I truly am afraid, like, what if he's obligated to contact the Department of Motor Vehicles and they take my license away? You were an assistant manager at 2 of the Dairy Queens for many years ago. Wonderful. I was born, I got to come down here because I have my glasses on. I was born, I know the meaning of 420. Leave it to my boys. The cake decorator dies laughing every year as he decorates your cake. You constantly count stitches and rows. You know, there's a difference, Diana. There's a difference of constantly counting to make sure that you are double correct. And there's the counting of, oh my God, I already forgot what I'm doing. I've noticed lately I will leave to go somewhere and then I don't remember the drive. I don't remember how I got there. And this concussion all came about because I didn't put my car in park, and my car was rolling away, and I chased after my car and I fell. And as one of my friends commented when I shared it on Facebook, she said, gravity's a biatch. And gravity is, because I hit hard and my face broke my fall, and I felt my nose go into my brain. And ever since then. Oh, yeah, the 420 thing. On the evening of 4/19, you're supposed to put out milk and brownies for Snoop Dogg. Did you know that? Like how you put out milk and cookies for Santa? You're supposed to there's two ways to think of it. You either put milk and brownies out for Snoop Dogg, or you put milk and brownies out for Willie Nelson. I buy a pot every year, tongue in cheek. I bought a yarn bowl at a pottery shop. Yeah, my boys. With 4 boys, I'm well aware of the whole 420 and everything that implies April 20th. Let's see. See, round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on round 6. We're going to slip stitch to our first chain 1 space. So here we have our grouping of 3 double crochet. We're just going to slip stitch across the top of that. Get to our chain 1 space and slip stitch there. So now we're working in our chain 1 space. We're going to chain 2 that counts as our first double crochet. And we're going to place 2 double crochet in the same chain 1 space. So another grouping of 3. We're going to chain 1. And then we're going to place the shell, the 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet in the next chain 1 space. So right here in this next chain 1 space, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1. We're going to our next chain 1 space, and we're doing the 3 double crochet. So now we're alternating between the grouping of the 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then the shell in the next chain 1 space of the 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. And we're going to do this all the way around our beautiful spa cloth. I also share a birthday. Yeah, I know. And every few years, Easter. Yes, I've had Easter birthdays. That is a hot mess. I have made rope bowls with ripped fabric. Oh, those are fun too. Those are fun too. Welcome back. Welcome back. I share Queen Elizabeth's birthday. I don't know who else, but I share Queen Elizabeth's birthday. I was born on the 21st. Little bit of knowledge here. Just, general. I was born on the 21st. My biological father was April 22nd, so his birthday is tomorrow. When I was diagnosed with the ovarian cancer and they rushed me off to surgery and I almost didn't make that day, I would have died that day if I wouldn't have gone to the hospital. I like to just kind of like tough it out. I was going to tough it out overnight. And if I was still hurting in the morning, I was going to have my husband take me to the hospital. I couldn't do it. And they said, if you would have stayed on the couch while your husband went to bed, you'd probably be dead. So I had my surgery and I get taken to my room after I'm out of recovery and the phone rings. And I think, my husband thinks that my cousin knows about the surgery and about what's going on with me, but she's calling to let me know that my biological father is not doing well and that I need to say goodbye. So I almost passed away on the 4th of July, 2015. And my dad did pass away on the 4th of July, 2015. So our birthdays are one day apart and we almost passed away on the same day. So he was a nice guy. I got to meet him when I was in my 40s. I didn't even really know about him. My sister was with me when we learned that one. So his birthday's tomorrow. And then my sister's is on the 25th. And so I'm just doing these groupings of 3 double crochet around, chain 1, and then the shell of 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet in the same chain 1 space around for this next round that we're doing on our pretty flower that we're making to go into a pretty little bone china teacup. And these are good for a neighbor, for a sick friend, for Mother's Day. Gwen was mentioning that the ladies at her church get together once a year, I think she said, and they exchange little teacups, and she's going to make one to put in the little teacup that she's going to gift to someone. I think that is such a wonderful idea. Let's see what's going on in the chat. My birthday is 3 days before Christmas, and share it with a sister who is 9 years older. Hubby and I got married on D-Day, but I didn't realize it at the time. Oh, yes. Thank you for deleting that. You never know what you're going to get dinged for. It's true. You just never know. But I appreciate that so much. I don't want to ding. I'm almost to a milestone on my YouTube channel too, so I don't want to ding right now. I'm just a breath away from hitting that next little milestone. You know, I had every once in a while in the YouTube community, I will speak with some friends or have someone contact me and say, you know, you need to do this and you need to do that. You need to do this because you don't have very many views on your videos. And I get giddy when I hit a milestone, but it's not for the reasons that I think some people think it's for. I was very happy when I reached 1,000. I was very happy when I finally got my watch hours, you know, all accumulated and I could be monetized. But when I got to when I was striving to get monetized, I shared with my son, I said, I don't care if I make 5 cents. I just want to reach the goal. The goal is to become monetized. I'm not looking to get rich. I'm not looking to make a lot of money. I'm not looking to go viral. I just want to reach the goal. I mean, first the goal was to get 100 subscribers. Then it was 1,000. Then it was to get my watch hours. And then it was to be monetized. And I don't make a lot getting monetized. I don't have the views. And that's okay because I reached the goal. And I don't need to find the hot new trend or try to find something to go viral. I mean, if it happens, it's great. I'm not going to knock it. But I have crochet tutorials right now for this heirloom Afghan crochet along that we're doing. And as somebody who has a history of cancer, I want to make sure that I have certain things that I can leave behind for my grandchildren. And if something happens to me, because there's no cure for ovarian cancer, here's number 4. It's almost as good as a cha-ching on the Etsy store. Let's see if he picks up on it.
Happy birthday.
Oh my God, it's a grandbaby. Hi, grandbabies.
Hi.
Thank you for wishing me happy birthday. Do you know what? You're on YouTube right now.
How do you know?
How do I know? No, you're on my YouTube right now because Grandma's live on YouTube right now and I answered the phone and they can hear you. Can you say hi to everybody? Hi, thank you for calling me for my birthday. I love you guys.
Happy birthday. 21.
Huh?
21, right?
I'm 21 again. Yes.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
Thank you, loves. I love you guys.
Happy birthday.
See, there's number 4. See, number 3 called. I had my third son called during this live video, and I said, now I just have to wait for one more, and here you are. Thank you.
All right, I'll let you get back at it.
All right, love you.
Love you.
Bye, guys. I was going to do another radio station to see if my son caught on to that, but when the grandbabies say hello, you gotta do the grandbabies. Those are the grandbabies that I share with Steph that was here with us earlier. I'm so far from getting monetized, but I'm not worried about it, right? See, I'm not worried about it. Let's talk about the monetization again. I told him I'd be happy if I made 5 cents. I met the goal. So I'm doing things that I want it to be there for my grandkids. So like I said, if something should ever happen to me, and who knows if YouTube's still going to be here in 20 years, I don't know. But that little baby girl that just called right now, if I'm not here to teach her how to crochet, I want her to be able to go to my videos and have grandma teach her to crochet. That's what I want. I want it to be, if they can't hear my voice anymore, they can go back and listen to me read Anne of Green Gables to them. So I'm reading all of Anne of Green Gables. I don't know what book I'm going to do next, but I'm reading Anne of Green Gables because one of my memories of my grandma, I don't have a lot of memories of my grandma because she grew up in one state, I grew up in another, and I had very little time that I got to visit with her before she passed away. I think she passed away when I was 9. But from when I was 8, I spent the summer with my grandma and grandpa. And they had a little rollaway bed set up for me in the hallway because they didn't have another bedroom to put me in. It was the funniest thing. My grandpa slept in one room, my grandma slept in another room, and then they had this rollaway bed for me. And my grandma would lay down with me and she would read Charlotte's Web with me. And I just remember, she'd never read it. She didn't know the story. But I remember her just laughing to herself about how silly it was to listen, to read about how the crickets would sing. And she just had this little trilly little laugh. And she would laugh about how silly it was about the fireflies and the crickets and the frogs and Wilbur. And that's my favorite memory with my grandma. And I've got grandkids all over the place. That doesn't sound right, does it? I've got some grandkids here. I've got some grandkids in California. And I remember one year I bought them all books, and it was one of those books where you could actually record your voice reading it. And I was really sick when I did it. I had bronchitis when I read that book. And one of my kids was like, "Gee, Mom, you sound like, you got a 3-pack a day habit there." So it needed to be redone. But this is something where I may not make a lot of money on YouTube, but my grandkids can go back, and that's worth more than the money. So, getting to say hi to my sisters here, getting to see new friends, getting to see old friends, getting to spend time with people that give me just a little bit of their day. That's worth more than the money. Like I said, I'm not going to knock it. I every once in a while, YouTube sends me a little something, but I'm not living off of it. That's for sure. And that's okay. And I've had people say, "Well, you need to do this and you need to do that. And you need to really work this, and this, so you can make the money. Make the money." I'm not about the money. I'm so happy. I'm more happy over the cha-ching from the Etsy shop and happy that somebody's actually going to make an apron and that part of me lives on than I am for the little bit of money I make off the pattern by the time the bank takes their cut and Etsy takes their cut, because you would not believe how much goes in fees for a pattern that you sell. You have to pay to put it up there. Then Etsy takes a cut. If somebody finds your shop through a Google search, they take an extra 15% after that. Louie, get out of here. Louie the fly has just walked across the camera. The bank that processes their payment takes a cut plus a surcharge. So by the time I get that little scrap that's left, it's really not much. But I'm happy for the cha-ching, and I'm happy that somebody saw something that I created with my mind and think that it's worthy enough to put into their catalog of patterns to make and share and give to someone. I love that. You saw Louie? Louie's a fly. My grandpa used to name the flies when they'd come around. He always named them Louie or Frank. But I always call them Louie. So Louie just ran across the camera. You saw his undercarriage. We don't want to know how I know that Louie's a Louie. We won't go there because I do want to keep my channel. Okay, so we're finishing up the 3 double crochet in 1 chain 1 space, then chain 1, and then 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet in the next chain 1 space. I'm almost done with this round. It takes a little longer to get the rounds done the further you get out, plus the more I talk. But by the time we're done with this flower and we get it all put together, then I'm going to grab a little bit of frosting and I'm going to cut into the first brownie. And I'm going to toast you guys with a brownie. My cup of coffee's gotten cold already, though. But I do love the way these little flowers look. And I hope you guys, if you make them, I really hope you'll share them with me. If you're not following me on Facebook, go to Thompson Farms on Facebook. It's where I do my crochet stuff. And join that page. And then I would hope that you would share the little flowers that you make. And I would love to share that with everybody and say, look, we did this on my birthday and we all got together and made brownies and learned how to make this fun flower. And my friend made this flower to give away. I'd love to see that. That would be fun. I messed that stitch up. I got to take that one out and do it again. We're almost there. 3 double crochet here in this chain 1 space. Ruined that one. What's exciting for Diana? What did I miss? What did I miss? Michelle said something about Diana. Did I miss it? I missed something. I'm going back. You're going to have to rewatch and read the pattern. I will have it for you, Gwen. Don't worry. Oh, Diana's halfway to 2,000. That's awesome. That is wonderful. And you did Glenda did a giveaway for 500. That's wonderful. So far from getting monetized, but I'm not worried about it. The less you worry about it, the better it is when it happens. I mean, you can't stress over it. There are far too many more important things to focus on than that. And, you know, that's another thing too, because I had some feedback about how you need to do this and you need to watch that. And it's not, you're not watching these anymore. And we haven't seen you here and we haven't seen you do this or that. And I had to tell some of my well-meaning friends who I love very, very much, you know, so many things that some of my friends are doing are in the evenings. And when I first started out, it'd be like, hey, so-and-so's on tonight. And we're watching tonight. And we're watching tonight. And we're watching tonight. And it's kind of like, you know, you watch my videos and I'll watch your videos. And then it got to be where I got so many friends, I couldn't possibly watch all their videos. There's just not enough time in the day. And when those videos come at nighttime, you know, maybe we're watching while we're eating dinner. Maybe we're watching after we eat dinner. And I had to tell some friends, you know, I'll come up and chat with you, but I have to wait for Papa Jim to go to bed because I have to divide my time up. And when we went through that whole, you know, cinnamon vanilla thing, the coof, I had 2 friends lose their husbands. And these are 2 friends that are my age or younger. One's my age, one's a little younger. And at the end of the day, I don't want to say I spent my evenings watching YouTube instead of I spent my evenings engaged in doing something mutually beneficial with my husband. And right now what that is we're enjoying watching the Waltons together. We're enjoying, you know, taking our drives together or whatever it is we do, working on the chicken coop on the weekends. That's where the importance is. And as much as I love my YouTube friends, and I truly, truly do, I had to cut way back because my husband and my family had to take the priority. And so I guarantee you those channels that have 50,000 subscribers, they don't spend their days from sunup to sundown watching other people's videos. I try to catch them as I can. I try to catch, you know, for instance, Diana, the other day, I was able to pop in when Nisi was live. And I don't get to do that as much as I used to for her porch chats, but I was able to at that time to pop in and say, how are you? I miss you. I'm glad you're doing good. And then I had to go because I had things I had to do. If I spent all the time watching everything, like nothing's getting done, and then I can't spend that time when my husband's here. He's my top priority. because unfortunately, and here I am now, I'm closer to 60 than I was to 50. And he's right on the cusp of 60. I don't have unlimited time with him. I don't want it to be where something happens to me and my husband says, it was a good marriage, but she spent all of her evenings watching YouTube, watching people that I've never met, watching people that he knows are my friends and that I love, but that are friends. And I need to focus on my husband. I know you guys get it. Hey, old lady, how are your choppers doing? These choppers? I went to floss my teeth the other day and I had something break off. So it is such a great platform. I got to go back and see what you guys were saying. And in the background, I can see me picking my teeth. It's such a great platform. I'm excited to meet and make new friends with the same interests. It really is. It's so wonderful. And it's all I have. Besides my husband who's gone to work, all day. I go days without seeing another human being. But I love living on this farm. I love this farm. If you guys don't know the story about how I got this farm and how it came to be, it is amazing. It's a miracle. I love living here, but I will literally go days without seeing another human being. So this is my outlet. When I do my silly stories, when I do my silly videos, that's my outlet. And it's really the only socialization I have. And I could get a job. I could. But I don't want to try to get to a job when winter comes and there's 8 foot of snow out my front door and risk my life for a minimum wage job. I don't want to put me into another tax bracket. That always seemed to bite us in the rear whenever we had the family and my husband say, you need to get a job. And it's like that little extra money help always killed us at tax time. Always. It's 20 miles. I don't want to drive 20 miles for a job. I want to do my things here. And so this is my socialization. Oh, favorite. Oh, tricky. Oh, how are my choppers doing? No guarantees that others watch in return anyhow. It's true. I catch what I can when I can. My brother joined in. So Deb Grote is my brother. We got to hang out the other day and go to lunch. We've gone to lunch a couple times and had some nice lunches together. And I'm the joy of his life. I know that. I was the beginning of my mother's second childbearing chapter. So my brothers are just a little bit older than me. But you know what? I'm really thankful that there is a gap between me and my brothers. And I'll tell you why. And I was discussing this with my brother the other day. My brothers, being that little bit older than me, introduced me to the best 70s classic rock while I was growing up. If I would have grown up in the 70s as a young child without those older siblings, I would have missed out on some of the best classic rock because I wouldn't have been exposed to it. I might have been exposed to it later, but I certainly wouldn't have had the appreciation for it. And my sister-in-law, Deb, my brother's wife, we had all gone to a Three Dog Night concert one time. You remember this, brother? We went to a Three Dog Night concert. And I'm sitting there, I'm singing the songs. I'm just enjoying it so much. And my sister goes, how do you know these songs? Because I grew up in the 70s with older brothers that introduced me to these songs. I love it. And let's move on to the next round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're on round 7. We've just finished this round. We're going to slip stitch over to our chain 1 space. And then I'm going to tell you something. I'm kind of hoping that somebody doesn't watch this because I don't want to spoil it for them. Round 7. We're just going to do 3 double crochet in each chain 1 space around. So we're going to chain 2, 2 more double crochet, and then chain 1. And we're going to do that all the way around in every chain 1 space. Don't forget the chain 1 that's in between the 2 double crochets that are in that shell there, make sure you get that one. So we're going to do that all the way around. So my husband's been asking me, what do you want for your birthday? I don't know what I want for my birthday. I don't need anything for my birthday. I'm really not overly excited about anything. I just bought a bunch of yarn. That's about as good as it gets here. And so he keeps saying, think about what you want for your birthday. Think about what you want for your birthday. And I just hadn't thought of anything. Well, I had a local friend the other day post on Facebook. She says, woohoo, cannot wait for Friday because I get to go see the Little River Band. And I went, oh, I love the Little River Band. I wrote my friend and I said, I love the Little River Band. Matter of fact, when I took sign language in college, my semester final was signing for their song, Cool Change. I said, I love it. She goes, oh, I wish I would have known. I said, I wonder if there's still tickets. She goes, well, if you get tickets, you can come hang out with us because we got a table, which I don't want to think about standing at a concert for 2 hours. So she got a table. I might look into that, I thought to myself. So I got in touch with the venue where the Little River Band was going to be playing. And sure enough, they still have tickets. So I got all excited. I was going to call my husband and say, please, 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 can we go to this concert? I want to go to this concert so bad. I love the Little River Band. And I had to wait for his lunch hour, though, before I could call him. And so I start looking at videos on YouTube of their songs. It's like, oh, it takes me back. This song and that song and this song and that song. I'm just singing it and having a good time. And as I'm scrolling through the videos, there's this video, The Tragic Story of Little River Band. I'm like, oh, the tragic story of Little River Band. What could this possibly be? What is this tragic story? So I watched this video about the tragic story of the Little River Band. You love them too, Diana? Oh, yes. Spending the hours reminiscing. Hurry, don't be late. I mean, I just love their songs. So turns out they had some band member changes through the years. Actually, Rick Springfield was kind of mixed in there with his original band in the beginning. And they're from Australia. I learned, all these little tidbits and stuff about Rick Springfield. And like this member would leave and that member would come in. And, I was thinking as I was listening to and watching the videos, it's like, gosh, this was in the 70s. These guys got to be getting pretty old by now. I'm still going to enjoy it. I'm going to go see a bunch of old men playing these songs from the 70s. I'm just going to love it. I'm going to have to I'm already telling myself, you're going to have to behave yourself. Don't sing with them. Let them sing their song. Don't get overexcited. Don't sit there and start doing your sign language. Just enjoy the concert. I'm already telling myself. And then it turns out that the last person that they brought into the band sued the band after the band was not really like a band anymore. He sued the band for the name Little River Band. So this isn't even Little River Band. This is like a cover band that this guy who sued for the name Little River Band takes out on tour. Now, I don't know if he sings with them or not, but none of the original members of the Little River Band are now the Little River Band. And my heart just sunk. They're not, it would be like, you still know all the words to Reminiscing. Oh God, I love that song. It's funny how, Diana, things pop into your brain. Because I remember coming from California to Iowa one summer, and my dad and I went up to the hardware store to buy some lumber, and we're standing in the aisle in the lumber department of this big hardware store, and over the intercom, Reminiscing starts playing. And I'm just standing there in the middle of this hardware store singing this song, and just oh, you can picture it. You can picture the song in your mind of this couple through this song. And I remember that. And I remember that being a memory with my dad. I was so excited to go to this concert and then to find out that that's not even them. And I was telling my husband, I said, it's like hearing that Fleetwood Mac is going to be playing a venue where you live. And you're like, I want to go see Fleetwood Mac. And you call up and they're like, yeah, we got tickets. You're like, there's still tickets. How could there still be tickets? I'm going to get tickets. I'm going to go to Fleetwood Mac. And my friend's going to let me sit at their table with them. And we're going to watch Fleetwood Mac. And then you find out, oh, yeah, but none of them are the original members. The original members are still alive on Little River Band. They're still alive, but none of them are in the band. And none of them are these people that are going to be playing. Highly disappointed. But we couldn't go anyways. I'll say that. But I would have changed things to make it work so we could have gone, but not after learning that. So disappointed. Could you imagine going to see Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks not be there? Mick not be there? And you find out that some person that was hired on at the very last minute to replace Christy McVie then sued Fleetwood Mac for the name, and now that person promotes Fleetwood Mac, and it's not Fleetwood Mac. How do people get away with this? How do they do this? There's got to be something wrong with that. I'm going around this round here, 3 double crochet, chain 1, every chain 1 space. We're almost to the end of our flower. When we get to the end of our flower and we make it, then I'm going to get a brownie. And I thank you guys for coming in and coming out, spending a little bit of time with me. I know everybody's got busy days and we've been on here for a while, but I appreciate it. It's not right, is it? Diana, it's not right. But I won't tell my friend because she's already got the tickets. She's already got the tickets. She's going tonight. What kind of friend would I be if I said, yeah, I'm not going? And guess what? None of those people are the Little River Band. I can't do that to her. Let her go. Let her enjoy it. If she finds out about it later, she will. But I went to the website for the tickets. And it gives all the history of Little River Band and how many top 10 singles they had. And, where they came from and how many albums. And like Reminiscing is one of the top played singles of all time and all this stuff. And it says, join us for this. How did they say it? They used a word. Interpretation, I think was the word. Join us for this current interpretation of these classic hits. I thought, that's a way of just hiding the fact that it's a cover band. And I started looking into it. And a lot of people who are real Little River Band fans, that's what they said. They said, this is just a glorified cover band, and they're really not even that good. And you know what? If I wouldn't have figured this out, this is what happens when you over-research things. If I wouldn't have just over-researched, I would have gone and had a wonderful time tonight. Right now, I'd be doing my hair and getting ready. But sometimes I over-research things. And sometimes it really turns out well, but sometimes it bites me in the rear. I got to get rid of a notification here so I can see what's going on. Okay. God, now I forgot where I was going with that. But sometimes I over-research. I could have gone. I could have had a great time. Oh, that's what I was going to say. If I would have gone, I would have just thought, it doesn't sound the same as what I remember. But I would chalk it up to the fact that, they're just a bunch of old guys. I don't even know the ages of these guys who are going to be going up on stage tonight. But I would have thought that. I would have thought, it's been years. They're older. Things have changed. Never would I have thought this isn't the same because they're not the same people. Never would have thought that. Oh, well. There will be other concerts, and I have to realize the older I get, the less those opportunities are going to be. Because even before Christy McVie died, I think, Fleetwood Mac tickets were terribly expensive. We just took a trip to Nashville, but I didn't go see anybody. that would be popular in Nashville right now. I don't have the money to spend on those kind of tickets. A few years ago, I was working as a pharmacy tech in the DFW area. I came across a script for a person by the name of Charlie Pride. I said to the pharmacist, would be cool if it was the singer. He said it is, and he's coming to pick it up tomorrow. You got to fill some meds for Charlie Pride. I used to work at a pharmacy. My brother's a pharmacist. That would be cool. I delivered flowers when I worked for a florist. I delivered flowers to Dolly Parton's sister, and I delivered flowers to Bill Murray's wife or girlfriend or something. But Charlie Pride, that's pretty awesome. He's old school. He's one of the original classics. I did get to see, since we're talking, concerts and waybacks, I did get to see, oh God, it just flew right out of my head. Ex-pharmacist, says the brother. I know. I did get to see Conway Twitty. I got to see Conway Twitty in concert. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, but it had its moments because I was so excited to see Conway Twitty. And my husband's like, fine, if you like him so much, why don't you just run away with him? So we were kids. We were teenagers. He was jealous of Conway Twitty. It was so funny. And so now, anytime a song comes on, he gives me that look. And I say, hello, darling. You got to meet him. He was so sweet. And I have a picture with him. That's wonderful. That would be neat to meet Charlie Pride. I think that's pretty cool. All right, round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is done. I'm going to hold it up with our little piece of paper here so you guys can see how this flower is starting to come together. We're almost done. We only have 2 more rounds to go, which will take me like 6 hours the way I'm talking. So there it is. You can see how big this is going to be. Isn't that pretty? So the next round, round 8, super simple. Just right from where you joined, you're going to chain 1. Or when they had the free concert at the casino. Did I see Little River Band when they were at the local fair? No, I didn't. Or the free concert at the casino? No, I didn't. But if you just signed on, you would know that they were not the Little River Band. Join, chain 1. Were you not here for that convo, Rick? It is. It's going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty. The next round, single crochet in every single stitch and in every single chain 1 space around. Super simple. This is such an easy little pattern. And if I weren't talking so much, it would go by so quickly. So I'm just going to chain all the way around. Not chain. You know what I meant for those of you that crochet. I'm going to single crochet in every stitch and in every chain 1 space around, which should be pretty simple because I believe our last round was just nothing but groups of 3 double crochet. So there's nothing tricky there. Just make sure you get those 3 single crochet in the stitches and a single crochet in the chain 1 space. Let's see what the chat's saying. It was a great concert several years ago. I'm going to have to check the history. Yeah, check the history. Oh my gosh, I learned another. My friend calls me every morning, my friend Debbie, and we chit chat about stuff. And again, I'm one that once I start going down a rabbit hole, I learn something and I go down a rabbit hole. And then when she calls me, she's like, well, what's new? What's going on? It's like, oh my gosh, wait till you learn. Wait till I tell you what I learned. So last week, I think it was, I saw the sad news that another member of ABBA died. Not the guy the guy with the beard. I was going to say something I shouldn't say. The guy with the beard, he passed away. So, then I start going down the rabbit hole of turning on YouTube and watching, the videos and the music videos and everything for ABBA. And I'm not going to go into too much of it here because I don't want to get dinged, because it would be along the same lines of what Glenda shared earlier and deleted her comment so I wouldn't get dinged. Look up the history I'm going to go over to Granny D to show my love. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. She just went live. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me, and come back and see how this turned out, and I'll have the pattern. It's such a pretty little flower. I just checked and didn't see Granny D live yet. Oh, now she's on. I went and said hi. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Anyways, the dark-haired band member, I believe her name is Anna Freetag or something. Freestag. I don't know her name. Anyways. She has a very interesting past. You've got to look it up. It's interesting, but it's tragic. It's tragic. I shared it with my friend. She's like, why do you tell me these terrible things? It's like, because I just learned about it. I mean, who ever would have thought that this person had this type of history? You've got to look it up. Can't wait to get started on the apron. Thank you, Michelle. I do hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions about it, let me know. You're experienced enough with your crocheting. You should have absolutely no trouble with it. There are tutorials in the pattern for right-handed and left-handed in case my instructions are not clear. But I can't wait to see it. I do hope you share a picture of it. I would love to see that. So anyways, if you get a chance, find out about the history of that band member from ABBA, because it's pretty intense. And what I think is amazing about it is, I mean, if you go down that rabbit hole, you learn about it and you learn about her history, but it's not something that everybody knows about because she doesn't put it out there. And when I say that, I don't mean that as a negative. I mean it as, you know, you've got some people who end up in the public and they're like, oh, my life is so tragic because this happened to me as a child. And then they pull that heartstring and that sympathy. They play that card all the time. Not her. She didn't. I mean, I think all of us would know this tragic past if she did that. But she doesn't do that. And like I said, it's not that she's ashamed of it. It is her history. She acknowledges it, but she doesn't try to pull you into that little pity party because of it. It is an amazing history. Don't check it out, though, till after we're done here. Don't leave me to go check out the tragic story of ABBA. But, I mean, who doesn't love Dancing Queen? Like, I would love it. That just goes back to the whole Little River Band thing. If I found out that ABBA was playing local and I'm all excited to go see ABBA, and then I find out that somebody from the sound crew sued ABBA for the name ABBA and then had a cover band that he calls ABBA, and you think you're going to go see ABBA and it's not, it would be disheartening. We're coming up here. How much more do I have? Because we're almost, I'm just going to wrap this up. I'm going to keep going as fast as my little fingers will take me, which isn't as fast as it usually is because when I got that concussion, I think I sprained the ring finger on my hooking hand. So I haven't been keeping my hooking hand strong. My hooking hand has issues. So sometimes it cramps up a little bit on me when I get going here. But we're going to do our single crochets all the way around. I'm almost ready to join this round so we can finish this up and have a brownie because I want a brownie. I want a brownie so bad. It smells so good. All right, so there's my last single crochet in the chain one space, and I'm just going to slip stitch to the first double crochet. And there is the end of round 8. I'm not going to hold it up and show it to you because not much changed because we only did the single crochet around. Oh, yay, you're still alive. I'm still here. I had chicks. I had to get out of the incubator and into the brooder. Oh, how fun. Did you watch the first Mamma Mia? I saw both. They're off. Throw in a few C's, brother. I got you. I see where you're going there. Did I see it? I play it incessantly. I love musicals. And I love Mamma Mia because I just love all those songs. And funny story, I had watched Mamma Mia so many times that when I was visiting my mother we had her in a care facility before she passed away. And I went one day because they had a group of 3 ladies. They didn't call themselves ABBA, but I think they called themselves Dancing Queens. And they had on the outfits and the boas, and they would sing the songs. And you can't take me anywhere. You can't. They started singing Dancing Queen, and I ran up and joined them. I grabbed a feather boa. I'm singing with them, even though I don't have a microphone, and I'm sure everybody was thankful for that. But I'm singing, and I got the feather boa, and I'm like, see that girl, watch that scene. She's the dancing queen. I mean, I'm just doing the whole thing. I'm having so much fun. My mother's blind. She has no idea what I'm doing. But after I got to do that and had so much fun with that, I got to sit next to my mom, and I got to sing. Now the name is going to escape me. The song where in the movie where the daughter's getting ready for her wedding and the mother's doing her nails and her hair, and they're sitting there and she talks about watching her daughter grow up. I got to sing that to my mother. Oh, and now I can't watch the movie without crying because my mother has passed away. And I can't sing to her anymore. I can't have those moments with her anymore. And I don't know why I can't think of the name of the song. I'm sure somebody will say it. I'm like, yes, that's it. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Going through my pictures in my mind. I don't know. Anyways, I got to sing it to my mom. And another time I was visiting with my mom, and I had just set her at the table for dinner, and I had to get back home. And a song came on over the radio in the dining room where she was. Oh gosh, what was it? It was from the 40s. It was a song from the 40s. Slipping through my fingers. Yes. That's the name of the song. I can't watch it now without crying. Cannot watch it without crying because I think of my mother, and I miss my mother. And I love that song. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. What was the song? I sang a song to my mother in the dining room, and it was from the 40s. And she joined in, and she sang that song with me. And I remember standing over her, and I had my cheek on the top of her head. And we're just singing this old song from the 40s together. And it was just so magical. And people just stopped and watched. And, I finished it up, and I gave her a kiss, and I went home. It was such a neat little song. Oh God, what's the name of that song? The problem is I've got so much going on in my brain right now. I can't think of the details. It's the song that Noah and Allie danced to in the street on The Notebook. And I can't think of it off the top of my head. Let's do our last round of our little flower here. Round 9, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn the work. We're going to work on the wrong side now. And this is our last round. And this is where we're going to add the scalloped shells that will create the beautiful edging for our flower. So we chained 1, we turned, we're going to single crochet in the stitch where we did that join. Right there. We're going to, let me double check it. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches, skip 1, skip 2, and then we're going to 5 double crochet in the next stitch. So this will create our beautiful fan shells. Here's 3, 4, and 5. Isn't it amazing how big this gets? It's going to be 9-inch in diameter when we're done. Skip 1, skip 2, place a single crochet in the next stitch. Skip 1, skip 2, 5 double crochet in the next stitch. And that's what we're going to do all the way around. So here's 3, 4, Cha-ching! Cha-ching! I know, I'll think of it at 3 a.m. I sold another pattern. See, I just like Pavlov's dog. It's like, I get so excited when I hear the cha-ching. Woo, Mama just made 62 cents. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 6. Take one out. I got ahead of myself. I put too many stitches in because I heard a cha-ching. Skip 1, skip 2, 5, double crochet. I'm just going to keep going around and putting these little shells on. And then once I'm done with that, I will finish off. I'm not going to take the time to sew in my end because I don't want to do that to you guys. But then I'll make it into a little flower, our rose, and we'll see how it looks in our little teacup. And then when you make one, I want to see it. I want you to share it with me. I will. I'll think of it at 3 a.m. And like, I've got the stitch count in my head. I've got the fish in the background with that terrible tinkling noise. It sounds like somebody's peeing. And I cannot think of the song that Noah sings to Allie while they're dancing in the street when they lay down on at that red light. I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you. Okay, now I'm going to cry. So I've got my cheek on my mother's head, and we start singing. I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places. La da 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 da. Don't know why I can't think of the words. All the way through. Oh, God. Yes, familiar places. We just sang it together. And it was such a wonderful memory. I was sharing with my husband when we got up this morning that the last birthday, God dang it. Let me back up a little bit before I tell this story. My mom and dad used to have a massage therapy business, and they had a chiropractor that worked with them. And I'd never thought of this before, but I learned of it through my mother, and my mother thought it was such a wonderful thing. She was just so impressed with this young man. He wasn't married. He didn't have a family, but he loved his mama. And every year on his birthday, he would take his mama roses. Not her birthday. It's his birthday. But he would take his mama roses because he believed that his mama should be celebrated on the day that she gave birth to him. So he would take her roses. And my mother always thought that was such a wonderful thing. And, you know, up until we moved out here, I wasn't able to do things like that. Thank you, Diana. So I had got to spend a birthday with her. My siblings and I went up for her birthday the first year we moved out here. We were able to spend her birthday with her. And then it was just months after my mom's birthday that I was diagnosed with cancer. And because of how sick I was through the treatment, I rarely got to see my mother. I really only got to go visit my mother maybe once a month while I was in treatment and shortly after I was in treatment. And I had just gotten to the point where I could go see my mother when she took a rapid decline. So I really feel robbed. But the last birthday I got to spend with my mom, I took my mom roses. 3, 4, 5. I took my mom red roses. And I took 3 roses to her. I didn't have the money to buy a dozen, but I took my mother 3 roses. And one from me, one from my biological father, who I met when I was 43, and one from my dad that raised me. And I took those roses to her. And I was telling my husband this morning that, you know, I remember that birthday where I got to take my mom roses because she thought it was such a wonderful thing. And my mom slept during my whole visit. She had gotten to that point where she just didn't wake up very often. So I've got pictures of me with the roses with my mother just sitting there with her eyes closed. But I went back to see her either later in the evening or the next day, and she had woken up and I got to show her the flowers and she thought it was so wonderful. And I was just so happy that I finally started to get to see my mom. And my mom, let's see, today's the 21st, 9. My mom passed away 3 weeks later. 3 weeks. After I gave her those roses, my mom passed away. So I'm really happy, even though it makes me cry. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Really happy that I got to do that for my mother before she passed away, because it did mean so much to her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm losing count through my tears. 6. I'd take one out. It's a beautiful thing to do for a mother on your birthday, isn't it? Isn't it? And you know, ever since then, I call my mother-in-law on my husband's birthday. I'll call her. I'll say, "Happy birthday, Mom." And she said, "Oh, honey, it's not my birthday." I said, "I know, but this is the day you gave birth to the man I love. And you should be celebrated. So I wanted to call you and tell you happy birthday." And she always gets such a tickle out of that. And I had said earlier in our broadcast that Jim's mom is very sick. And in February, you know, they told us to make plans. She was not going to make it, and she's still here. And I'm really hoping that she'll be here still with us on Jim's birthday next month, so I can call her and wish her happy birthday again. I might even send her roses. I think I should. I think Jim and I should send her roses for her birthday, because it might be the last time we get to do that. So I'm sorry for bawling. I'm sorry. It's kind of cathartic, though. It felt good. Felt good to get that off my chest, because I've been missing my mom today. I would have loved to have spent my birthday with her. You know, that's the whole reason we moved out here, really, was so that I could help take care of my mother. And unfortunately, we were only here we were here 3 years. We were only here 3 years when my mom passed away. So I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her. So only 3 years, but half that time I was sick with cancer. So I was robbed of that time with her, but I'm so thankful for the time that I had. And I'm thankful for the memories of getting to sing with her and play bingo with her, just sit and talk to her. And she'd have the funniest laugh. She'd just go off on stories, and she would just laugh. And we had a great time spending time with her. What are you guys saying? Let's see. My mom passed away Easter morning. Easter is a super hard thing for me now, mostly during church service, because they play Amazing Grace, and they played that at Mom's funeral. Absolutely. A lot of times I have to get up and go outside for a bit and get my bawling done. Yes. We all need to cry every now and then, especially when remembering our loved ones who have passed, right? Because the fact that I cry is a testimony to the fact that she was loved. And what a wonderful thing that is. I've got a friend whose grandmother recently passed away. And she shared with me this week that the children, her father and her aunts and uncles, you know, are in charge of what needs to be done with grandma. And the one child, grown child, older than me, said, "I don't care what you do with her. You know, what do we do with Mom? Do we take her here? Do we bury her there?" You know, she never really said what she wanted. He says, "I don't care what you do with her." And I thought, oh, God. How awful is that to say that? I don't care what you do. I don't care where you put her. I don't care where you put her. Ugh. It would break my heart to think that any of my children, and we've had our issues. No family's perfect. I'd hate for one of my children to say, "I don't care where you put her." A, that was heartbreaking. B, especially having a cancer scare, I will make sure that all of my stuff is written down ahead of time. I'll tell you what it is too. Because when I was diagnosed with cancer, I kind of wrote everything down. When I die, I want to be cremated, brought back here to the farm. I want to be planted with a beautiful lilac bush, and I want there to be a party, and I want there to be dancing and a walking taco bar. I don't want it to be sad. I want people to get together for a little party, plant that little lilac tree, and then I want everybody to stand around and say, do you remember that time that she did this? And do you remember the time that she did that? Can you believe that crazy woman did a video about husband soup and brought out a cleaver that she named Lorena and chopped up her husband's sausage? I want people to do that. Do I have a bird in the house? No, it's Louis the fly. He probably flew right in front of the camera. I'm not sure. I hope there's not a bird. We did wake up one night and there was a bat in the house. And even my brother woke up one night and there was a bat in their house. My mom's birthday is April 9th and her favorite holiday was Easter. She passed away the morning after the 9/11 tragedy. Oh my goodness. That's like a double whammy. I'm sorry to hear that. One of the reasons why I don't like going to funerals is because I always think of my grandpa's funeral, which always makes me cry. So no matter whose funeral it is, I still cry. I still cry over grandpa brother. I do. And I didn't get to go to that funeral. But that would have been a hard one. That would have really been a hard one. And I don't want to know the details. I wasn't there. But brother, you and I need to take a road trip one day. And I think we need to go visit grandma and grandpa. We need to drive on over and go visit their grave sites. I've not been since grandpa passed away. I've only been when grandma was there. Grandpa used to go to the grave to go visit grandma and take her flowers and stuff. And he'd always bring the day old bread to feed the geese. There were geese at the cemetery, and he would always feed the geese. I'm coming here to the end of row 9. Aren't you guys so happy? Finally made it. I promise if you make one of these without all the jib jab and me flapping my gums, you can have one of these done in 20 minutes, and then you've got a beautiful gift to make for someone in a very short amount of time. I'm done with my last little shell. I'm going to go to my first single crochet and just slip stitch to close. I don't know about you guys. For those of you who crochet, when I finish off my work, I chain 2. I don't chain 1. I chain 2. Cut my yarn, leaving enough of a tail. Those are my kitchen scissors, not my crochet scissors. And I pull the yarn through, and then I like to just, I pinch that top chain, and then I give it a really good tug, and it cinches a knot down up against your work that is not going to come undone. It will not come undone, I promise you. All right. Let's finish this off so I can show you guys how pretty it is, and then we will get caught up. So I got this tool. Thank you, everybody, for reminding me what it's called, because I could not remember. I got this tool at the thrift store. Actually, I got it when I was shopping with my brother a couple weeks ago. And I've cut it into a couple of strips here that you can see. I'm going to take my completed, let me hold this up and show you guys how it looks when it's all done, because I didn't do that. Let me dry my tears, show you how pretty this spa washcloth is. There we go. I hope you guys can see that okay, because I can't see you. But there it is, all done. You can see the beautiful scalloped edges. I'm holding it too close. Back it up a little bit here. It's very filigree and light and beautiful, and I love that. I've got my 2 pieces of tulle, and what we're going to do now is very simply fold it in half. I don't have the ends sewn in yet, but just fold it in half like so. Then just start rolling the edges. Just roll it like into a cone. Just roll it into a cone. And when you do that, it's going to create the rose. Isn't that pretty? Do you see how pretty that is? When are we getting a brownie? As soon as I make this. As soon as I make this rose. But look how pretty the red rose is. Now we're just going to take the tulle and very simply tie it around the base of what we've made here for our rose. right about here. Just tie it around it. Just tie it like you're going to tie your shoes. First, do your simple knot. And I say simple as I struggle with it. So just tie the knot, just like so. Then do the bows like you would do the bunny ears for tying the shoe. Or if you're just putting something around a package, whatever. So just tie the bow around it, see. Now we've got extra long tails here because I didn't take the time to really make sure everything was even. It doesn't matter. Let me get the pretty cup that I got the other day at the thrift store with my brother. Remember when I bought these, Rick? And if you have any extra stuff, just stuff it into the cup first. It's okay. And then pop your rose in there. Fan the rose out a little bit. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of fanning out the rose a little bit, and then puff out the bows of your tool, and then they look like little leaves. And then you can just fuss with it as much as you want. But there's our rose. Isn't that pretty? There's our rose in our cup. All ready to gift to someone. Of course, if I was going to gift this, I would sew my ends in and I would make it a little bit more presentable. But you get the idea. And it's even prettier now that I don't have enough cups. But let's put it in our china, our little bone china cup, because I think the little bone chinas are just so much prettier. They're just that little bit more delicate. Let me get the saucer. Here's the saucer. And there's our little rose in a teacup. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I'm glad we did a red one, even though it was difficult to see. Let's see here. There. Can you see that better? Da-da-da. Very, very pretty. So I'm going to make a bunch of those, and I'm going to see if I can put them out like on the local marketplace or something for Mother's Day. Let me grab a brownie. We'll toast to a brownie, and then I will say goodbye and thank you all so much. Let me grab the brownies and see how the sugar-free. I've never tasted the sugar-free brownies. I don't know how they're going to be. While I cut myself a piece of brownie, comment below. Have you ever had the sugar-free brownies, and tell me what you think of them? I might even get a spoonful of the sugar-free frosting. Oh my God, that sounds so good. Hang on. Let me get a plate. I wish I had a pretty plate to put it on. Alas, I do not. I think I need to get one the next time I go to the thrift store. It looks good. It looks delicious. I'm not taking my time cutting it out to make it look pretty because let's face it, it's just going to end up going down my gullet anyways. Oh, it's cakey in the middle. It's like I didn't quite get it done. I'm coming around. Hang on. Here we go. Okay. First impression. What am I using that's sugar-free? It's a mix. Zero sugar brownie mix. I'm supposed to be covering the name. There we go. Same brand. Forgot my spoon. Frosting. Hey, that frosting's not bad. Ouch, darn it. Best brownies ever are Outback Steakhouse Chocolate Thunder Down Under. What are you trying to do? Put me into a diabetic coma? Brother? I scooped out way too much frosting. A little bit of frosting on top. You know what's great about using a little bit of frosting is I can still put the tub in the fridge and snack on it later. Brother, it probably is. But if I look it up and it says sucralose, you're going to give me a big brother tongue lashing. Let's see. It just says added sugars, none. Sugar, alcohol, 10. Maltitol. Of course, all the things that I can't say. Oh, sucralose. Yes, sucralose. Is that good or bad, brother? Nah. He says, nah, I'm not going to give you a hard time. Sucralose in the cake mix. And again, I know it's better if I have things that I can pronounce and not the things that I can't pronounce. But, and this one has sucralose as well. I didn't want to leave the farm today. I wanted to cook what I had on hand. I wanted to make myself something for my birthday. So the brownie is nice and cakey and chewy. I shouldn't say cakey, fudgy. Okay. I know it's bad. I told you were going to wag your finger at me. For the sugar-free brownie, since I can't have a normal one, I could, but my doctor will be very upset with me. It's fudgy. I like fudgy brownies as opposed to cake brownies. I like them when they're fudgy, and it's the frosting's pretty good. We've got to die of something. I might as well enjoy it, right? You're right, brother. I need a glass of milk. That's the only thing missing now is a glass of milk. I got half and half, but I'm not drinking it. So having said that, Diana, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the little rose tutorial. Like I said, I'll be updating, and I think I'll do a better tutorial. I'll do a top-down tutorial, and I'll actually post it for anybody who wants to join in and show you how to do that. Thank you for joining me for my birthday. I made brownies a couple weeks ago. I need more now. I'm glad that I've inspired everybody to have a brownie because, as my brother says, we all got to die of something. Might as well enjoy it. Thank you, brother, for joining in. I appreciate you being here. And for everybody else who stuck around with me for the last 2 hours and 41 minutes. I'm so glad you were here to spend the birthday with me. Like I said, I just would have gone and taken a nap, and I just would have sat around all day. This way, at least I got to interact with some of you, and I appreciate it so much. Our treasured home, I'm just now getting ready to leave because I'm eating my birthday brownie. We baked it and crocheted and did all kinds of fun things. But I'm glad that you were able to pop in and say hello. Hey, before everybody leaves, please make sure you hit the thumbs up. I would appreciate it very much. I will tell Papa Jim, howdy. Hello, Alfonso. Hello from Colorado. Hey, I'm having a brownie. It's not the kind you get to enjoy where you are, but it's a good brownie nonetheless. That's another story for another day about our trip to Jamaica, if you know what I mean. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate you being here. Have a beautiful day. As I close all my videos, I always say, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys. I'll read your comments after I sign out. Otherwise, I'll talk forever. Bye. End broadcast right now.